Ooh. Hear that?
No. Wait, put it.
Oh, it's creating static interference.
What does that mean?
What if you just...
I've got my brain waves being zapped right now.
They're totally like reading your...
I'm going to have a great show. The neorhythm pulses are shooting directly into my cerebral cortex.
What is that?
Quick, ask me some trivia questions.
Okay. Who won the 1999 AL MVP?
Derek Jeter.
Is that real?
I don't know.
Sounds real.
It sounds real to me too. AL MVP 99.
No, you're wrong.
Gary Sheffield.
No.
I don't know.
Alex Rodriguez.
Yvonne Rodriguez.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Rodriguez.
NL was chipper that year.
Really?
I miss the
Ask me some.
Pudge.
Just go to a random trivia website. I want to
Okay.
see if this is going to work.
Hold on.
I wonder if this is going to sound annoying to anybody that's listening.
Stick with us. We're trying.
This is crazy that the electric waves are being picked up on the electronics in here because it's not making that noise.
Yeah. I can
Wait,
hear it.
Wait, everyone
There's
be
nothing-
quiet. Listen very closely.
There's nothing coming out of the actual
I'm going to turn it up.
brain collar.
Okay.
Huh.
Ready,
Wait.
PFT?
Are those what they throw on the dudes with concussions?
I don't know. I don't know what they throw on the dudes. Okay, trivia.
Okay.
Is it still loud? Yeah.
Hg is the chemical symbol of what element?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you gotta
I don't
get
know
that.
shit about science.
Oh, I know this. It's like,
It's easy.
you
It's,
better
I kn-
get it the way that you just reacted to that.
I know it.
HG.
Hg.
It's...
You guys should all.
Why do you want... Is it helium?
No.
No.
HG is
Helginium?
It doesn't have like an H or a G.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's one of those brain. It's one of those brain teasers.
What is it?
Is it iron?
No.
Oh, no.
sodium.
No.
I don't know.
Mercury.
Oh,
Wrong. Okay.
okay. I don't know.
Um,
I got a
Sodium's
D
Na.
minus in chemistry in high school.
Okay. What is the capital city of Spain?
That would be Madrid.
Madrid.
Correct. What email service is owned by Microsoft?
Outlook.
No.
Yes.
Oh no, you guys can't guess anymore. You
Hotmail.
already botched.
Wait. That's
Hotmail.
an old
Okay.
trivia
Yeah, it's
list.
now called Outlook. I
Okay.
got it right twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Name the three primary colors.
Red,
Blue, red,
blue,
yellow.
yellow.
Yeah.
Got it faster. Your brain
You
waves suck.
copied two of mine.
No, I didn't.
Pure water has a pH level of around what?
7.
Good.
That was me.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
I was first.
What is a group
the
of
tape.
lions known as?
Pride.
I said it first.
Jesus Christ.
No, you didn't.
I said it first. Pride.
You're also looking it up.
No, I'm not. I'm literally doing my job on my phone right now while smoking, you fools.
What scientist was awarded the 1921 Nobel Prize in Physics?
Einstein.
Yeah.
Bitch.
What is the world's largest ocean?
Pacific.
Good.
It's not the deepest, though.
That
Yes, it
wasn't
is. The Mariana Trenches in the Pacific Ocean, bitch.
No, but on
Uh-huh.
on aggregate.
On aggregate. Okay, so
On
we're doing
aggregate.
So we're doing ocean depth by
Average depth.
aggregate
The Pacific
now.
is
Okay.
low key shallow
Okay,
as
all
fuck.
right. Okay. Well, it's got the deepest place on Earth in it, so I'm going to
Yeah,
say that
but
that's
that's
the
just
deepest.
in one spot.
I'm going to say that's
It's
the deepest
mostly-
ocean.
It's like a puddle.
And I think
compared to-
99%
I'm Team
of
Atlantic.
everyone would agree.
I'm Team Atlantic. I like the Atlantic the best.
How many bones do sharks have?
Bones?
Zero.
It's all cartilage.
0.
Good job. Good question.
Unless you count their teeth as bones, in which
No.
case they have hundreds.
Well, they're not bones.
But they're made out of bone.
Teeth are not made out of
It's
bone.
just interesting that they could be considered bones.
Teeth are not made out of bone.
What flavor is Cointreau?
It's Cointreau?
Is that what it is?
Fruity.
Spell it?
COIN.
Oh, is
Oh,
that
it's
a
orange.
drink?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that was pretty close.
I've never had it.
Sorry, Billy. Lost on that one.
I'm actually trying to do 1,000 things right now.
How many hearts does an octopus have?
4.
8.
No.
3. 3.
Which planet has the most gravity?
Jupiter.
Hold on, did I
Good.
get the question right?
Yeah, you did.
Eh,
Which
It's definitely Jupiter.
Which country did AC/DC originate in?
Australia.
Good.
that's like
I'm not paying attention right now. so
Oh, okay.
He's getting it.
Billy's not paying attention. That's why he's not getting these.
Okay. What is the colored part of the human eye that controls how much light passes through the pupil?
Iris.
Yeah. Whoa. Good job.
I'm
Yeah, Billy.
not paying attention.
Okay.
Right now. Just want that on record.
What year did the Cold War end?
1991.
No.
90.
No.
89.
Yeah.
It depends on how you define it.
Counting backwards.
Which company owns Bugatti, Lamborghini, Audi, Porsche, and Ducati?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, it's the same one that makes the tuk-tuks.
Wait, is it Porsche, Lamborghini?
Yeah.
It's Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The Statue of Liberty was given to the U.S. by which country?
France.
Good.
That's why I'll never go to it.
Fuck the French.
I do think that the Statue of Liberty could be a classic Trojan horse. There could be shit inside of it, like a
You think
bomb.
there's people?
No, I think that there could be a bunch of old
Oh,
dead
speaking of
French
bombs.
soldiers that couldn't get out, or there could be just a bomb that's been ticking for the last 200
Billy, what are you
years.
doing? Please tell me what you're doing.
Set to take a picture.
Okay, I'm taking my brain link off right now.
Okay. Now let's see. Billy.
Jesus.
What is the symbol for potassium?
Ooh,
Hey.
potassium.
K.
No.
Yep.
Is it?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's just do this for 3 hours.
What are
be
these
the
questions?
show?
We lose
I
all our
literally just looked up
listenership.
a random trivia site.
Jeff is going to be joining us. Jeff from the Dozen Trivia. He's going to pop in for a second because he bought. He's getting a couple of Danger Witches at Subway. The Russ Wilson.
No way, really.
Yeah, he's getting the
Bruh, that shit
Russell
you
Wilson
did was
sub.
fucking hilarious.
Your video is so funny.
I think I'm going to become a duet guy on TikTok now.
I'll
Yeah.
send you stuff you can do.
Why didn't
Yeah,
you do
can
that?
you?
Why didn't you do that for Maine? Never mind.
Don't do.
What are you talking about?
Don't.
Never mind.
Can you do like funny cringe ones? Would you do that?
Yeah, sure. I'll duet whatever. Just send me some duets. I don't
I'll
know
send
what
you
I'm
some
doing.
duets.
But Billy, are you mad at me because I didn't post that on your account?
On the Pardon My Take account?
Yeah.
I think we did anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. What'd you post on originally? Yours?
Yeah, just in mine.
Yeah. No,
'Cause
I found
I
it
don't
on the
really
Pardon My
use
Take
mine.
account.
Can't grow your own brand. Only Barstools.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to use TikTok, so I was just kind of taking a guess and I put it out there. And I didn't know that people would like it, and it was people enjoyed it. People like laughing at Russ Wilson.
Do you think he's doing a bit, or he's really like that?
No, he's a robot.
Oh, he's really like that.
Arian, not like you in particular, but at the Pro Bowl, do you think it's a possibility that some players are still drunk when they're playing in the games?
I would say more than likely, yeah. Yeah. It's just it's a big celebration of what you've accomplished that year. Because it's fan voting, coaches voting, which is more impressive to me, and then the players voting. But these are people that are in your in the top echelon of what you do in your profession, and they're giving you the honor of like you're amongst the best of us. It's a really big honor. So you just celebrate the entire year. Your family's there. Usually your whole Pro Bowl check is spent on flying your family members out. So I had 10 people there. I spent like 20 racks on plane tickets, something like that. So it was a good time.
So now they're replacing it with a skills competition in Las Vegas, which I think players will probably just be more drunk at that since it's Vegas.
Yeah.
And did we ever find out what happened to Kamara?
I think it's still pending in court.
I wonder what happened though. Like, was he was charged with assault? But they never.
He actually got charged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's still it's still going
Was
through
that
courts.
was that the one with the woman who showed up with the gun?
No, he got into an
No, wait.
altercation with a guy at a casino.
Oh no,
I
I'm thinking of.
I forget what about, and then just kind of beat the shit out of him,
Allegedly.
Probably.
allegedly.
Oh, you know what else? Yo, so we got to talk about the Nord Stream. Not Nord Stream.
Yeah. So Billy was blowing up the group chat yesterday, sending us evidence.
I'm sorry.
Wait. He's blowing up the group chat, sending us evidence of Joe Biden sending an underwater demolition team to blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. And Billy, you could tell was hot on the case because it had nothing to do with what we were talking about in the group chat. But out of nowhere, we just get flooded with all these tweets and maps and shit and gas price speculation. And you could tell that Billy was really cooking on something. So I want Billy to go on with his investigation and let the viewers know out there, the listeners know too, what's going on.
Yo, great idea. New segment idea. All the Billy stands out there. This is the Let Billy Cook segment.
Let Billy
Unfiltered, unhindered, fucking cook, Billy.
It's like,
do your thing.
Yeah, like let Russ cook.
Yo, so Nord Stream. This is very pivotal to world politics because basically, if you don't know what the Nord Stream is, it is a gas pipeline that is Russia's lifeline. It's the total reason why Russia has been able to maintain global hegemony and fund their war in Ukraine currently. And it's because they have all of Europe hooked on Russian gas. And because of that, this war has been very pivotal because basically all of Europe needs Russia's gas to stay warm in the winter. Winter is coming, and Germany might have to switch to total nuclear energy because they no longer have gas being supplied by this pipeline. So Joe Biden 2 months ago in February said, we have ways to stop Nord Stream 2, which is the pipeline. He's on record saying that.
Where did he say that?
He said that in a speech.
Okay. I'm just going to question your sources on a lot of this to make sure that we're...
No, PFT. We letting Billy cook.
Yeah, okay.
He said that in a speech. You can find it.
Is that like Nordstrom Rack?
I know. I keep thinking I'm talking about Nordstrom Rack.
Yeah. Nordstrom.
I was actually trying to explain this to someone last night at a concert.
Nordstream.
And he thought I was saying that someone had blown up a Nordstrom. And
somehow you were having a geopolitical conversation with somebody last night.
I was trying to explain to them what was going on, and they were like, "What? Like
you're at a bar?"
Yeah, I was at a bar before going to a concert. Saw Zach Bryan last night. Great. Okay, I need to stay on topic. I'll get to that in a second. But this gas pipeline is basically keeping Russia alive to be able to fund this war, and it's in the U.S.'s best interest to cut off this pipeline because it would weaken Russia, and Europe does not want the pipeline cut because they need energy. You know, they don't have energy independence, a lot of these smaller states. So they've kept the pipeline open because they're like, we need this pipeline. We can't switch to nuclear and, all this stuff because a lot of their energy production, especially with fossil fuels, a lot of these European countries are much more stringent on the global warming, climate change stuff. So they'll let Russia do their dirty work instead of doing it themselves. But with that, so U.S. wants the pipeline shut down. Pipeline mysteriously has an explosion and is leaking in the...
Multiple explosions.
So I was digging into it and I was looking at some radio waves, like maps. So someone else looked into it, but I was reading it. And basically there was probably U.S. Navy ships that were there about 2 weeks ago. And the theory is that, someone put in the order from the U.S. to basically blow up these pipelines. Because it's not Russia wouldn't do this. The EU has established it wasn't an accident. And the U.S. may have sent like Navy SEALs down there, which was their original. The Navy SEALs were developed to be underwater demolition teams. So there's a good chance Navy SEALs were sent to blow up this pipeline, or a drone. Drone's the other speculation. And the U.S. did it. But this is going to be, this is very pivotal. This could be a catalyst for World War III, low key.
How?
Because we basically just cut off Russia's lifeline. So they're pissed.
Got it. So I'm reading about this. Bjorn Lund, who is the director of the National Swedish Seismic Network, said they are not earthquakes. They are not landslides underwater. It's very clear from the seismic record that these are blasts.
Yeah.
So there was definitely an explosion down there. My big question is the president of Finland okay?
I think so.
Okay, good.
The Minister of National Defense and Poland's former Minister of National Defense just tweeted out a picture of the leaking gas and just said, "Thank you, USA." So this is actually, NATO is very fragile right now.
That doesn't seem like a very smart idea to publicly thank the United States in what was supposed to be potentially a secret mission.
Yeah, well, it was more tongue in cheek.
I think that so the person that tweeted out like "Thank you USA" didn't know that the U.S. did that,
right? But they're assuming.
But they're assuming they're kind of like making a joke, but at the same time, they're probably telling the truth.
But like in 30 years,
like a satirical accusation.
Yeah, in 30 years, we might look back on this and actually know the story that like a bunch of Navy SEALs went down in a submarine and blew up a fucking pipeline.
It's like when I say, it looks like I've found all these pictures of Queen Elizabeth hanging out with Hillary Clinton, and then next thing you know, she's dead. You know?
Yeah.
I'll like make that as a joke, but it's like finding out that Hillary Clinton actually did go over there and slit her throat.
Like we'll probably never get a true answer on this, but
I think we just did from Billy.
I mean, I did. Well, there's a lot more. So
did we or did we not blow up this pipeline? In your estimation,
I low-key think we did. So an expeditionary detachment of U.S. Navy ships led by the Universal Amphibious Assault Ship USS Kearsarge days ago was in the Baltic Sea. It was 30 kilometers from the site of the alleged sabotage on the Nord Stream 1 gas pipeline and 50 kilometers from the threads of Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. So they blew up both of them, which is nuts. And there was several records of aircraft movement. Finally, we need to pay attention to a June article in the Sea Power where the Americans brag about experiments in the field of underwater drones, which they put on exercises Baltops 22 just in the area of the island of Bornholm.
I was going to ask you about that, about the underwater drone situation, because when you said drone, I was thinking like something that flies through the air.
Yeah.
But I feel like having a submarine that has demolition capabilities on it would be pretty... we'd find a lot of uses for that.
They probably kamikaze the thing so that there's no record of it.
Here's one thing to worry about though, Billy. As the future of the military becomes more technologically dependent,
right?
Are we going to just have no use for like jacked up super soldiers anymore?
Yeah,
and really the best soldiers in the world will be the biggest nerds that are just really good at computers.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Or like people that are really good. Do you think that the United States military is investing in Twitch to develop the best like video game players of all time, using their hand-eye coordination to turn them into different pilots?
I mean, was Call of Duty booming in quarantine just a secret way to train men to be good at video games and get everyone into video games so that they control drones?
Possibly.
Like, is that their way of, training the population?
I'd say possibly.
And mobilizing?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, the thing about drones is like if they have these drones and let's say they connect them to AI, they're not going to be merciful. Humanity will be totally like devoid. So like, can you try a robot for war crimes? That's probably going to be our next question.
No, but you can try the person that programmed the robot.
What if it's AI?
If the AI wrote its own script?
Yeah, who knows?
But I don't know. That's pretty big
it's actually pretty crazy the amount of U.S. naval positioning before these blasts. And right now in front of Kaliningrad.
I was doing some research, by the way. You keep going, but I did some research.
Kaliningrad.
Yep.
There's currently a U.S. naval ship right in front of it.
So
and Kaliningrad's
Kaliningrad. That's the. It's a fascinating place because it's Russia, but it's not connected to Russia at all. So it's like a little island, not an island, but it's surrounded by other countries that aren't Russia, but it's still Russian property.
Yeah, it's because they have a huge naval port.
Yeah.
Russia's obsessed with ports. That's like been their whole that's why they're in the Donbass in Crimea.
Yes, they love ports.
They love ports. They just love warm water ports. And actually they're rooting for global warming because then their whole northern shore is going to become more habitable and more strategic.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all about warming it up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, crazy. So Joe, let me find a speech. Joe Biden, we have ways of stopping. It's actually, I mean, this is history playing out in real time. They're going to be teaching this in history books. Like when they blew up Nordstrom. It's a pivotal moment. And it's crazy that not that many people know about it.
Yeah. Interesting. So I was doing some research. Baby. I was doing some research the other day, and I saw that the U.S. is planning its next generation of fighter planes. So right now we've got like the F-22 and we've got the F-35. Those are kind of our big ones. And the next one that we're going to have planned is going to be a little bit bigger, but instead of missiles, and it will have missiles, but in addition to missiles, it's going to have smaller planes that drop out of it that are unmanned drones that are connected
That's sick.
via data link to the main airplane. And so it can like serve as, they can go out there and actually like acquire targets, shoot missiles, attack ground targets and stuff. And the pilot on board the main ship can control those drones that are out in the sky.
That's
so the range on it is going to be just insane.
So the pilot's going to sit like 100,000 feet in the air and just let those little planes do all the bombing and then avoid the fighter pilot from getting hit. Wow. Well, at that point, like, why don't you, like, if the pilot's controlling it, why don't they just get rid of the pilot and just have the pilot somewhere else?
I don't know.
Just make the F-18 a drone.
I don't know. I mean, we're probably looking into that because the fewer people we can have up in the sky, the better. Just makes sense. So, Big T, let's talk because your voice is a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you teed off about this week, Big T?
Oh, did you see Eric Adams yesterday?
I did not.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see this?
I saw one thing that he said about the brand. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so he was talking about New York. I don't know what the whole speech was about, but he goes, New York City has a brand. Kansas doesn't have a brand. First of all, just that's such a typical New York thing to say that like anywhere else in the country, like why would you ever want to live there where it's affordable, nice, the people are nice. Like, yeah, there's no brand there. The brand of New York City, pal, I don't know if you've gone around the country and talked to people what they think about New York. It's disgusting. It's horribly expensive. It's ineffective. Everything runs poorly. There's crime. New York City sucks. That's its brand. It's a dirty shithole. I hate Eric Adams. He's the woat. We may have downgraded from Bill de Blasio.
Wow, he's that bad.
Whoa.
He seems to be.
I like him more than de Blasio.
I think they're all, I mean, you went from one trash can to another.
Okay, so do you think that the national brand of New York City is, I get the trashiness, I get the stinkiness. I don't think that everyone thinks it's a crime-ridden hellhole, though. Like, New York also has, I guess there are two sides to the coin, to the brand that is New York. One is you have the shit everywhere. The city smells like pee. It's super expensive. It's dirty. And everyone's in a hurry. Everyone's mean. Then on the other side of that coin, you also have the whole, like, it's the financial center of America. It's the business center of America. It's one of the two entertainment centers of America where people go and they become stars after they move there, whether that's television, movies, et cetera, et cetera. So it still has that big, like, I'll put that in the city of dreams category. There is still like the city of dreams where people grow up wanting and dreaming about moving to New York City. I personally never did.
And then I don't
understand why somebody would grow up dreaming about that, but I do know that it happens. Then you get here and then reality sets in. You're like, wow, I live in a shoebox. But I think
he's not wrong, because that's kind of what a brand is. It's like what the perception of said product is, not necessarily what it actually is. And so like being an outsider, New York is branded as like the business. Like I don't think of it as, it's also like a tale of another two Americas thing. I don't really think of it as like a dirty hellhole, crime ridden. I think of it as like it's the birth of hip hop. And so it's like a lot of culture comes from New York, like the five different boroughs. So much culture comes from there. And I have nothing but good feelings every time I'm there. I would never live there, but like I love to visit.
It's also sort of the birthplace of America. I mean, like so many immigrants came through here, and as someone from New York, like we're kind of allowed to shit on New York, and we all shit on New York. But like we all love New York.
But we're not allowed to.
Yeah, but You
Big
know?
T's not allowed to.
Yeah, don't shit on New York. No,
Why?
No, I mean you live.
I
here,
live
so-
here. I pay exorbitantly
Yeah,
high
so-
taxes, and
but
nothing
that's-
ever gets fixed.
But like, there's so many parts of New York that you love, but you just don't realize. Like, you can go to a bodega and get like everything's easily walking distance. There's
convenience stores
everything.
exist elsewhere.
I know, but you have to drive everywhere.
No,
It's
bodegas. We only
it's
us
one of
have
the
bodegas.
it's one of the best walking cities. It's like probably
Bodegas was a
close,
horrible selling point for New York City.
It's probably one of the closest.
Also, everything in a bodega is
Nah.
$8.
It's probably
That's
the
like a cul-
closest.
that's another culture thing. Bodegas are dope
Yeah,
because you don't get them. You don't get them, especially on the West Coast. It's entirely different. Everything's so spread out, and everything being so close together over there is like a really
Yeah.
unique experience in America because the majority of America is extremely spread out.
like there's everything here. There's every type of food you possibly could want. There's all types of people. You know, if you like, it has some of the best dating scenes in the like for those people who are inclined. Like,
Wow.
it's honestly a beautiful place. Like, you can go to Chinatown, then take a block over, then you're in Little Italy, and it's like, oh man, you get like such a global experience from one city. Yes, there's crime, but you know, Darwinism, you got to deal with it.
It's crime everywhere, bro.
Yeah. And I do love New York. And there's gold underneath Wall Street.
Yep,
Tons
that's a
of gold.
national treasure.
Yep.
And Kansas, to Eric Adams' detriment, Kansas does have a brand. When I think of Kansas, Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Rolling plains of corn.
That was the other part too. He was
Kansas
just like
Jayhawks.
shitting on the rest of the country. Like, New York is this awesome place, and like, sure, are there redeeming qualities about it? Fine. There are other places in the country that are good and much better than New York, and it's just like this attitude that anywhere in the middle of the country is like, why would anyone want to be
Yeah,
there?
people from New York, a lot of them sometimes have a complex where they think, okay, my life matters because I'm in New York City, and thank God I'm here and not in the rest of the country. Like, they have blinders on, and they don't think that any other place matters. I went to school with a lot of people like that.
And
I think Billy's right about New York having redeeming qualities, but Eric Adams is making it seem like this is a great place and everything's rainbows and fairy tales.
I think Eric Adams is right about New York having a brand. They've got a very specific brand. Big T, okay, everyone's right. Hey, everyone, we're all right in a certain way. Big T is right that the actuality of New York to a lot of people is not the same as the bill of goods that they were sold, and there's a lot of shitty parts to it. There are also some good parts that now I understand. Like, I get why people like New York. I don't necessarily love it, but I understand why some people do, because I finally lived here long enough to be able to appreciate it a little bit and not be pissed off all the time. But Big T's right that the actuality of what it's like in New York is dog shit sometimes. Eric Adams is right that New York has a strong brand, and their brand is still to a certain extent the city of dreams, that people grow up with, you know, stars in their eyes. Oh, I want to make it in the big city, the Big Apple. That's where I want to be. That brand still exists. And also, Avery's right and Billy's right that the rest of the country gets shit on all the time by New York for no good reason whatsoever. Because the rest of the country's great. The rest of the country's awesome. Like, there are other cities besides New York that count as big city life. There's people that don't want to live in cities, that live out in the country. They have a great life too. And a lot of times the people in New York, they're like, if you don't do it in New York, it doesn't count. They have that mindset.
it's New York or nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
know
which
what-
is such bullshit.
You know what's my favorite part about New York? People say the
dating scene.
Everyone's like, everyone from New York sucks.
If
No,
you're
but that's a
fine.
selling point. That is a selling point.
I would fucking, yeah.
There's
I
a
don't-
great ratio here.
No, it
That's
sucks.
facts. That's
It
facts.
Sucks.
Yeah.
There it's like a 4-to-1 college educated female to male,
Damn.
which like a lot of girls like. I read an
Is that
op-ed
true?
complaining. Yeah, I read an op-ed about some girl complaining about it, and it's like, well, then it was like, you know, you're the asshole because you won't date a dude who doesn't have a college degree. So like, that's your own.
I don't think
Issue.
that's an issue. Like,
But that's what her article was about.
Wow.
Like,
All the finance bros.
yeah, but
I see 4-3.
4-to-3.
That's
Okay,
that's
it's
still
something like that.
That's still a good ratio.
But where was I? Oh yeah. So someone said like, oh, everyone from New York's like mean, like New Yorkers are mean, but like New Yorkers are like will say mean, like it's like a guy's changing your tire while like calling you an idiot, but like he's changing your tire. And
they're
helping
not
you.
nice, they're kind.
Yeah, like New
Ooh,
Yorkers
okay.
will do nice things, but be like, you know,
Don't fucking talk to me ever again.
yeah, but like whereas like West Coasters, like there was a diagram where it was like seems mean, but Acts mean but is nice is like the Northeast,
Acts
like New
nice,
York,
but is mean.
and then like the West is acts nice. The West Coast is acts nice, but is mean, and then I think South acts nice is nice.
Yeah.
South acts nice is nice for the most part.
Yeah,
There's some mean people in the South.
Southern hospitality.
I feel like if you're mean, you're really mean in the South.
Yeah.
Like
Big T, you know more than most. Like there's some real dickheads down there.
Yeah. I would say most people in the South are nice. I mean, living here and living in the South, people in the South are definitely nicer.
There's a lot of acts nice but hates you in the South too.
That's correct. Yeah.
But I think that's everywhere. Except
Yeah.
for New York. You don't get a lot of people that act nice but hate your guts up here. In the Midwest, ton of it. Yeah. Yeah, West Coast, you get a lot of phonies. But it's a different type of acts nice but hates you out west. Out west, it's like
Social climbers.
Yeah, social climbers out west. In the Midwest, it's more like acting nice because you're taught to always just say nice things to people.
Midwest is made by a lot of silent haters.
Yeah.
Of which I am one.
Yeah, the silent haters are strong. Out west, it's like I'm gonna suck your dick because I'm supposed to, and you're really famous. So I'm gonna get on board and tell you you're a star, but actually behind the scenes, I talk shit to you all the time.
Yeah, when we went to LA, that was my first time like experiencing LA, and it was so weird. Like going to the bar that all the TikTokers are at, just like from a anthropological standpoint, like seeing these people like act in like the wild was crazy. Like it was
Act in the wild.
like seeing TikTokers like at the TikTok bar, like what they're doing was weird. It was like
There's an actual TikTok bar.
yeah, it's a bar they all go to because they're all under 21, but it's like a bar and family restaurant, so you don't need to like ID the kids going in there, so that's why they all go to this one bar, like the Saddle Ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was in there and just like seeing what, because we had an event there, and it was, I mean, kind of like disgusting.
It was whack. Before we get into the rest of the show, have some very important news from a very important sponsor. Game Time is here, and they're going to get you $20 off your first purchase. $20 off. Go see the Killers. The Killers are in town this weekend.
Dude, I saw Zach Bryan last night, and
Uh-huh.
it was amazing. Shout out Game Time, Pier 17, amazing venue, open air. Like he's an amazing performer, but shout out Game Time. It was so cool.
Shout out Game Time. They are the best in the business, that's for sure. And they will hook you guys up with tickets and give you $20 off. If you're looking for tickets at the last minute, the place you should go is Game Time because it was created by fans for fans. So it's a new ticketing app. It makes it easier than ever to get the last minute deals on sports, concerts, shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. So that's nice. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, there's no reason to wait any longer because we are telling you right now, it's the easiest to use. It's so simple, especially if it's last minute. You just pull up the event you want to go to. Very easy to find, super clean user interface. You find the event within usually 3 seconds. I'm on that app. I know exactly where I'm going. I get the ticket and you get $20 off. It's so easy to use and they have amazing deals. You're going to love it if you use promo code MACRO. So download the Game Time app, go to the account tab, create your login, and redeem code MACRO. $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time, last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Shout out them for sending us to the game in Knoxville.
Shout out Game Time.
It was a really hard ticket to get. I mean, you could ask Big T. It was basically an impossible ticket to get, and they hooked it up, and they got us a lot of tickets in the same section, so that was hard to do.
Yeah, it was sick. I think the cheapest ticket by the time the game started was like $325 or something.
That's
like
insane.
That. Yeah, Game Time's the best.
Okay, so anything else anyone wants to get off their chest today? Anything big happening? Arian, what's going on down there with you?
Not much. Just getting the house remodeled. I'm still waiting on everything to get delivered and ordered and done. Yeah, I'm really in charge. Oh, I got the golf bug like a motherfucker.
Nice.
God, I got it bad. And so yesterday I woke up, had a 7:20 tee time. It was so beautiful, and it's like it's starting to get to that point in Houston where it's like fall, And so it's like cool outside, still hot as shit, but it's still like it's very bearable. And so playing golf is really, really fun right now.
That's awesome. I started to get the golf bug, and then I just started to get hurt, and so I couldn't continue to do it. But golf is so fun. It's nice to just get outside for a little bit. It's a good excuse to be outside.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you don't have anything else pulling you outside.
Yeah, and if it's like Frisbee golf, it doesn't matter what it is. Just the fact that you get to stand outside for 3 hours, that's usually worth it. We got to get.
And also, the last time I played, I was playing with this guy, this older cat, and he was walking the course, and I was in a golf cart, and he was like, "Nah, it's just way better when you walk it." And I was like, "But you got to walk the hill." He's like, "You get to feel the course better, you play better. It's just a better experience." So this last time, I was like, "Oh fuck it, I'll try to walk it." So I walked it. I'm never riding a cart again unless I have to. Walking is so much more fun. It's just changes the game. It like really like zens you out. Like you could bring your own little Bluetooth speaker, and it really makes you concentrate on your shots more too. It makes you play better, in my opinion.
I can see that, because if you're in a cart, it's almost you're hitting the fast forward button on life. Mm-hmm. And if you're walking, it's like, okay, it actually discourages you from hitting really bad shots, because then you have to walk all the way over to it, and that's annoying.
Well, yeah, but also I think if you're playing good, you play way faster as well. That's my opinion.
I might have to give that a try, but I am very lazy.
Walking is high key so good for you.
It is. Yeah. I mean, that's what the guy that walked across Antarctica had to say, right?
Hot girl walks.
What's a hot girl walk?
It's just a walk, but you do it at like more of a brisk speed.
Do hot girls walk faster?
Yeah.
It's got a little sway to it too.
Got a little sway to it. You kind of gotta dress for it. It's there's a dress code involved.
For a hot girl walk? Is this a
Yes.
TikTok thing?
No, this
it's a girl thing.
It's hot girl. I mean, this is
hot girl
This is the
things.
ops of the city boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these city boys that have these college degrees that Billy was talking about go for the girls that go on hot girl walks.
Are you just talking about an attractive woman that's walking?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It's like an energy though.
It's a
Like
new
Yeah,
thing.
but it's
It's
an
a
energy.
thing.
Big T knows.
my girlfriend and I go on SWVHGW Sunday West Village hot girl walks.
So Big T goes on hot girl walks.
Yeah, no, it's an energy.
It's a
about
state of
you.
mind.
Okay, so Big T, walk me through what
Like
a Big T hot girl walk is. What's
so-
the
Can you
energy?
give us a little hot girl walk?
So it's not like you don't walk differently. It's just an attitude. Like you walk to the water, you go on the piers, like you're just
Like I'm hot shit.
Yeah,
It's a scenery walk.
It's an attitude.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you looking at the scenery around you like with a note of disdain, like you're better than that?
No.
You're
It's
taking it in.
yeah. No, it's the exact opposite
It's
of that.
you know,
actually.
trying to catch eyes, trying to get people to look at you, kind of.
Are you thinking to yourself like everyone's checking me out?
Like
Yeah.
you pretend you're the main character.
I don't
in the
do
movie.
that.
Okay, you're pretending you're the main character.
Right? Yeah.
You wear an exercise dress.
Yeah.
You have
Oh
your
yeah,
sun-
I got
yeah.
plenty of those.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Sundress.
honest. I just walk, but it's
Sundress.
something you call it.
You
What
wear
the fuck is an exercise dress?
it's a dress, but
like a tennis.
dress, and it has shorts on.
Okay, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah. But you wear your Lululemon belt bag, so you wear like a fanny pack, and then you wear exercise dress, and you wear your Hokas, and you walk.
Okay.
Yeah. I walk with my dog. Doesn't really give off the hot girl walk energy.
But it's not what you give off; it's how you. It's a feeling.
I walk my dog, and I give off that energy.
I'll go on hot girl walks for like 5 miles at night.
5 miles?
Yeah, I'll walk for like 2 hours.
That dog's just wandering around the city.
Pretty much. I'll go anywhere. I'll just go up and down the same streets over and over
Just
again.
wandering
It's-
around.
Yeah. Like that's what I would do last year before I could afford a gym membership. I would just walk for hours on end.
And that's actually it's a good hack. It's like you don't need a gym membership to stay in
Just
shape.
walk a ton.
You can just walk everywhere you go.
And it was a really good way. I just moved here. It was a really great way to get to know the city.
Yeah, I think that's why for the most part people on college campuses tend to be in pretty good shape overall compared to the rest of the world.
What'd y'all think of walking in Knoxville?
It was great.
A lot
A
of
lot of
hills.
hills.
Yeah. It was just nice to be outside. I just need an excuse sometimes. My thing is I need to be forced to be outside and walking.
A hot girl walk is a great way to do that.
Whether if I just have to like label it as a hot girl walk, because I could walk to work every day if I wanted to, but then I get lazy and I'm like, I could just call a Lyft and that shows up and then I'm here in 7 minutes. If I force myself to go outside, whether that's by going to play golf, whether that's just being on a hot girl walk. It sounds like I could just tell myself it's a hot girl walk, and then that makes walking more pleasurable.
Yep, totally. Put on a podcast or a book.
Yeah. So a hot girl walk is just walking, but you're telling yourself that
You're a
it's
hot
something
girl.
like it's something cool.
Nice weather.
This is great weather for a hot girl walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always go at night, which is not probably smart for me, but I go at night.
Did you
then
carry
it's-
mace?
No comment. But I like to walk
That's a
around.
no.
That's a no. But
Oh, no, she carries mace.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
And a
carry-
gun.
no, not in New York.
Don't. Yeah. No.
No, she
don't
carries
do
a gun.
that.
She's got a gun. Don't go near.
She has a knife, and
mace.
she's always streaming from a GoPro.
Yep.
When
Yep.
she's walking.
Yeah. But it's a mind. The hot girl walk is a mindset. But boys can go on hot girl walks. Girls can go on hot girl walks. Anyone can go on a hot girl walk. It's a state of mind. Maybe call your mom.
Okay.
You maybe call your dad. You can do whatever you want. But it's a nice way to get things done.
It's
I'll
a
always
hot girl walk.
or I'll post. I'll do some work while I'm on my walks.
Again, you're just describing
A walk.
walking.
But Big T, back me up.
Yeah, it's an energy. You'll know it. It's like how the Supreme Court defined obscenity. You know it when you see it.
Yeah.
You'll know a hot girl walk when you feel it.
Okay. When I'm in that zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Citing a Supreme
I'm gonna do a hot girl
Court
walk.
case.
That's my resolution for this week. I will go on a hot girl walk.
I would.
Come with me on Sunday.
I
I'll
don't know
show
if
you
I
how to do it.
can. I don't know if I like. That feels kind of weird. Both hot girl walking at the same time.
But that
You're gonna be so much better at
I'll
it than
give
I
you
will.
a feel for it.
No,
You-
but you're just gonna
I'll
dominate.
let you
no,
feel me.
No, you're gonna dominate me in the hot girl walk because you have so much more experience. I'm just gonna be doing. I'm gonna be doing the second fiddle fat friend walk.
I do
next to you.
and I do a fast walking mile. Like I've shaved 2 minutes off of my mile since doing this.
Damn. All right. I do need to get back in the gym because I went to the doctor yesterday. Not to brag, but I have insurance, and so they put me on the scale. And they weighed me, and
That's the worst.
I was heavy. I was back to being heavy again, even though I got
What you at? Spill the beans.
I'm
Because you could join me and Billy with Christmas apps.
Yeah.
Hashtag Christmas
I'm
app.
back up to 192.
That's so funny because it's like,
What's your playing weight?
yeah.
My playing weight, I would like to get down to 170. I'm about 21
Let's do it.
pounds
Come on.
overweight.
Christmas apps. Let's go.
Yeah.
Gotta hold each other accountable.
I haven't been doing my soup and salad. I've got my strategy, which is soup and salad during the week.
Can I be on that with you?
Yes, and
Okay.
that usually works for me. I just do soup and salad every day, and then on weekends I just do whatever I want. That kind of got all screwed up because of Knoxville, and there was another trip that got thrown in there too. And you party a little bit too much, you eat like shit, and now I'm back to being 21 pounds overweight. Now I was shocked when I was talking to Avery earlier. Avery, I hope you don't mind me bringing this up.
Go ahead.
Can you toss me one of those gummy shot energy things? Real
There's
quick?
nothing left in it.
Motherfucker, Hank took all of it.
Yeah.
Hank's
That-
sick.
Fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Shit. That's all I want. Is just some energy.
I have no sympathy for sick people.
We know, Billy.
Okay.
We know. Billy's made that very clear over the past 2 years. Yep. So
Take some vitamin D.
I was talking to Avery before we started recording today, and we were talking about getting in shape, all that stuff, and Avery mentioned how much he weighed, and I was shocked. I was shocked because you carry it well. You're not. How tall are you?
5'11".
5'11", and I
Way
thought
to be honest.
What?
Way
Yeah.
to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I'm 6 foot.
I would have guessed that you were like 185 pounds.
No.
How much do you think Avery weighs, Arian?
Let me see. Stand in front of the camera. I gotta gauge it.
See front and back.
I do gotta see front.
Wait,
and
how
back.
much you weigh again?
Well, he's not. Don't tell him.
You about to? That's the whole point of him get Jesus. Billy. Let me see. Do a little spin. All right. Let me see. Lift up the shirt. We can
No.
blur
You
it out.
just have
See
to
that
look at him.
badonk.
You just have to look at him. So I thought.
I can't. There's a whole section under clothing. I can't see.
That's
Okay,
the
I would
whole point,
guess-
though, is that he carries it.
What do you say?
I would guess like 195.
195. Big T.
I mean, I'm guessing it's higher. It's obviously higher than 185. I don't know. 200?
Okay. Any more guesses?
No. I'm not good at guessing man weight.
I weighed in at 210 yesterday.
I could believe that.
I
That's
don't.
why I wanted to lift the shirt.
I don't see it. You carry it very well.
It's
So
in his midsection. Most of it. I would
Yep.
guarantee.
100%.
Because he's not thick. He don't really have much thighs. Upper body's kind of lacking, so it's probably more midsection, which is the easiest shit to
Damn
to
right.
It's the last to lose, but it's the easiest shit to lose.
Yep. Working on that.
We're
I'm
all
hovering
gonna do.
around 230.
Yeah, you are fat.
No.
Like that, you're not even Avery. You wear it well. Like you wear it like shit. I can tell when
know.
Billy's had like a big meal. He comes to the office and he just smells different, and his body's like a different color.
God.
Your blood like tries to escape your fat. It just like runs to the outside of your skin, and it's like, get me the fuck out of here. I'm a mess.
Yeah. Damn.
Why
No,
you
no,
cutting into me that hard?
no disrespect. I'm just saying.
No disrespect.
I'm
but
saying
like,
it's
this is
different when
disrespectful
Billy's
shit.
fat than it
You're a
is.
fucking bag of milk.
I bench press more than you do.
No, you don't.
Bag of milk would toss up 275.
Dude.
That's so mean.
Star Trek reference.
I did.
Ugly bags of mostly water. My Trekkies out there, I'll get that.
I did squat heavy for the first time in a long time last week.
That's
though.
how you lose fucking weight.
Yeah, but
Squat.
now with rib injury, I don't know if I can squat again.
I've been playing a lot of I think I'm just going to. I mean, I go on runs. It's more just consumption.
The issue is when I started traveling for work, like I stopped now, obviously, because the podcast has been getting very big, which is great. But when I travel with like foreplay and chiclets, it's just like we're just eating nonstop, and it's not good stuff.
Yeah,
It's like week-long trips of just eating like crap.
I still eat like I'm trying to put on weight. Like for some reason in my head, I'm like, oh, I got to eat so much. But I don't.
Based on what I know about you guys, it seems like the weekends are your killers.
yeah, but really,
that's everyone's killers.
my weekend is only Friday night, Saturday during the day.
But don't
And
you eat a ton of maybe not of the healthiest stuff on Sundays during the games?
Sometimes.
Here's a
Sunday's
life
the
hack.
bad day.
Here's a life hack, dog. And you probably heard it before, but it's portion sizes, and you're not drinking water while you're eating, right? To convince your body that you are fuller. But also, we eat for the wrong reasons in this society. We eat for a lot of times on social gatherings and just to feel better, because there are some effects of some of the foods that we eat that are like a drug. So literally endorphins release when you eat some of the foods that we eat. And so when you start to train yourself to eat differently and for different reasons. So if you think, okay, I'm eating because my body needs energy rather than I'm eating because I'm hungry, or, ooh, that looks like it's good, or, ooh, that tastes good. It changes your mindset. Like that's why I had to trick myself and train myself into, I'm not eating to feel good. I'm eating to fuel my body so that it has energy. And then after a while of doing that, really it's like after a month, if you change the way you eat, the other food starts to taste nasty to me. Like you can taste the grease, you can taste the bitterness. But again, it's a balancing act. You don't want to be it's hard in society. Every major event, sporting, birthdays, holidays, it's all centered around what dish you have, and it's usually a bad dish.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that our attitude towards health usually has nothing to do with its nutritional value. I think when I'm at my best, if I'm losing weight, if I'm staying disciplined, I just think of all food as like medicine. I completely disassociate food from being something that I get enjoyment out of. I associate food as something, I associate it with any other item that I would be putting into my body just to make my body feel better or to improve myself. And so if you can do that, then you can accomplish things. But the problem is sometimes it's like, I just really want that fucking cheesesteak, you know?
You know,
Feels good to be bad. That's what happens sometimes, you know? Like it actually, I think to myself, like it would feel so good to be so bad right now and eat this cheesesteak. And it is bad. And then afterwards.
And right after you eat it, you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, right after. And every single time. It's like touching the shocking buzzer to get the cheese. If you're a mouse, I eat the cheesesteaks and you know what I need to do? One cheat day a week. I just need to stick to one cheat day a week.
you know,
That is a good way to gauge it.
do you know that peasants only worked 150 days a year? Like medieval peasants.
I didn't know that.
It's probably why they were poor.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
They didn't have a
Christ.
They didn't have a grind set.
Yeah, it's true. They didn't have that mentality.
No, because like a lot of our dietary and
They were
eating
working
habits
they were working in the mill.
was a,
Didn't think about getting up early to try that side hustle out. Like maybe catch a couple fish on your own.
they didn't try to make a single podcast.
They
Think
didn't.
about that.
They weren't reselling shit on Amazon. That's what Gary Vee says to do.
Yeah. Maybe they should have
Yeah.
invented NFTs. They just didn't have the right mentality. They had a no mentality,
No, I saw.
not a yes mentality.
I saw, but the thing is, they were like, oh, medieval feudalist peasants only worked 150 days a year. You're working more than a peasant. But what they don't also recognize is that was their work where they were like harvesting or working for the Lord of the castle or whatever. But they still had to like wake up and like milk the cow. They still had they had other responsibilities that they didn't even consider working. That was part of their everyday routine. And a lot of it was maintaining their farm around them. So they worked actually 365 days a year.
It just wasn't called work.
Yeah.
They weren't like
it was
clocking in.
It was like one of their chores.
It's like their entire life was their side hustle.
Yeah. Like living back then was so much more work than we do today.
Do you think that right now, where we are right now, I'm talking the year 2022 in September, is this the best time to ever be alive?
Yeah, every minute that like tomorrow will be the best time. Like the day after that.
Yeah, but
You don't-
what if
you don't
World
think
War
that-
III happened?
Yeah, you don't think that like last September was better than this?
No.
So Joe Biden's doing a great job.
No.
What a setup. I love it.
No, you know why? Because I think there was...
No, I'm kidding about that because obviously Joe Biden's a sack of dog shit. But I do think that I don't think it's necessarily the right thing to say that 2022 is better. It's not necessarily better to be alive right now than it was, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, like 5 years ago. Was it better to be alive then than it is right now? Before COVID? I'd say probably.
Well,
True.
the thing
Depends on
is,
perspective.
are we atrophying because life is so easy now? Are we atrophying?
Did Earth fall off?
Are we in our flop era?
Oh, we need to talk about that meteorite.
I feel like Earth jumped a shark in like right around 2016.
Yeah, same.
Earth totally,
Summer 16, best time
Yes.
to
Best
be
year-
alive.
yeah.
That was insane.
That's when
That
Earth
summer.
jumped the shark and then fell off big time. After that, we all hate each other now, and there was a fucking pandemic that shut everything down for 2 years, made everybody depressed, and killed millions of people. That kind of sucks. And now we're still like living in the aftermath of that. Football's barely back. We're still amazed at seeing crowds. Sometimes people are getting panicked when they go to large venues and they're around all these people because they've had 2 years of being conditioned. Now we've got kids that are going to be growing up through the school system that are used to seeing everybody in a mask, and they're going to get freaked out because they're not able to properly gauge
Body language.
or facial reactions to things. That's going to be their normal. Then they're going to grow up and raise some fucked up kids after that. And then next thing you know, we're all going to be dead. So I'd say 2016, that was peak Earth, baby. Peak Earth.
Do you think that when they set off the first CERN,
The CERN collider,
do
yeah.
you think that's when
I think so. I think everything else
shit
has been in a
started
simulation.
started to get weird?
I think when Drake released Kiki, Do You Love Me? That's when it stopped.
That was the peak of civilization.
What?
I'd say, you know what? I mean, let's be honest, guys. I can point the finger at myself. When Pardon My Take debuted,
Yeah.
that's probably exactly when Earth started to get worse.
Part of my take is the simulation that we're living in.
Pardon My Take debuted March 1st, 2016. Everything after that sucked.
I think actually
Harambe died, everything.
But Summer 16 was good.
Was it?
Summer
Yeah,
16 was
16.
awesome.
Yeah, it was cool, but maybe that's like Pardon My Take nudged the entire planet into this hedonistic mindset and lifestyle. We had a great time in 2016. Then everything after that summer has been the consequences of our actions.
No, but you know what? I don't like to think that way. Everything's getting better. You can't.
What
think
was
that
Summer
negatively.
16? Did I miss something? Why was that so dope?
Drake wrote a song about it, so people say that like Summer 16 was incredible. They did the same shit that they did every year.
No, but that was
It's the
high.
exact same.
I like Summer 16 me personally because I was 17. It was high school.
Yep.
There wasn't that much. I think it was I like Summer 17.
That was going into your freshman year of college.
Yeah, because you had no real responsibilities.
Well, I mean, you can't use you as like a worldly
yeah.
experience. You're talking about
No.
yourself.
But that's what people do.
What do you mean?
Like, not everyone was going into their freshman year of college like you and I were.
Yeah.
Some people have
PFT was, like,
responsibilities.
just living his
in
normal
percent-
life.
I was in New York. I did go on a sick vacation in 2017, I think.
It's literally just the Drake song.
I would say the best summer of all time is the summer of 2003 because that's like
I actually agree with
you were leaving high school, you were getting ready to go into college, you didn't really have that many responsibilities.
Wait, I didn't know we were referencing a Drake song. I just thought we were like, that was a eventful summer for me as well.
I do think that there's a strong probability that that something happened in 2016.
yeah. Let's look up first CERN. I think that's what it was.
Actually, so no, I'd have to go with 17 though, because that was my first summer ever. Like every summer, my entire life, I've always been like a training camp or some type of football preparation, and so like that was the first time I ever had like a real summer. I was hyped.
That must be incredible.
It was dope.
You don't have to worry about
dope.
2-a-days, all that shit.
It was dope.
Did you ever regret retiring? Were you ever like, you know what, I kind of miss the game?
I have never had that regret. I'm extremely happy with what I've accomplished and the people I've met. Been dope. Been very fortunate to have a good life.
If you were to get put back into an NFL game right now, Arian, let's say fourth quarter of a blowout, your team is losing in the fourth quarter of a blowout. So the other team probably has their backups in, and they call like 2 draws to you. How many yards are you getting?
Oh man, it just depends on the blocking. Depends on how the game. If they're a draw and it's a blowout, probably not gonna get too many yards, man. Because I don't know, they're probably expecting to run the clock out.
What's your game plan? Just like go forward a couple steps and then slide?
No, I can slide. It's in there. It's just probably don't move like I used to.
Do you have that dog in you?
That shit don't die. You know what I mean? That shit he just sits in his house now and he has a Wagyu steak he's chewing on. when he needs to come out, he comes back out.
What do you think your 40 is right now?
Oh, I couldn't even.
That wasn't that
You still
fast to begin with.
Still break 5
There
though?
you go. yeah. Come on, that's slow.
Okay.
That's like lineman stuff. That could be the lineman, like slow lineman. I know some fast linemen.
Yeah, linemen are.
They've gotten faster too.
Yeah.
So we have a special segment coming up here. First podcast ever recorded from Waffle House. I got some shit from the Long brothers, Chris and Jake.
Wow.
And well, they're pissed off because I guess Chris recorded part of a podcast from a Waffle House because he had to do the fancy football punishment where you spend like an
24
entire
hours.
day in a Waffle House. And I was not aware of that. I didn't know that Chris recorded anything from that Waffle House, or maybe I did at one point and I forgot about that. But it wasn't my idea. This is Billy's idea to do the podcast from the Waffle House. So unless Billy was stealing it from Chris Long, Billy, were you stealing it from Chris Long?
No, I didn't even know he recorded. I thought it was a video he did in there.
Okay. I didn't even know that there was a video.
I know about
Okay.
the video.
Okay, so
So we sat at the table and did a podcast.
we sat down and did a podcast, so it was different.
We ate grits.
You ate grits.
You ate
multiple
grits.
servings.
Multiple grits.
I want a beer bong grits.
Shotgun grits.
Can we do that?
Sure, you can. Yeah, knock yourself out.
You can do whatever you want, Billy.
You're a grown up now.
I'm gonna go to a Waffle House with a beer bong, just be like,
That was
Never asked
that was
permission.
actually discussion
Can we
that
do that?
that was actually discussion that me, Billy, and PFT all got in together for the trip, and Billy was kind of all antsy about like what were we gonna do on the trip, like what's our schedule, and we're like, Billy, you're an adult, you can do whatever you want.
well, I was trying to figure out like what we had to do.
Okay, let me run that to the Billy translator. Looky. That's the name. That's how the translator goes when I'm putting the data into it. And then at the other end, I get Billy wanted to know exactly what our plans were because he wanted to know when he could start drinking and if there was anything that he would need to do later in the day that would be negatively affected by his drinking. So he was trying to gauge that perfect
I was
time.
being so responsible.
You're trying to gauge the perfect time to crack your first cocktail. And we ended up talking through it, and we set up the rest of the day, and it was a fun trip, and we got a lot of stuff done. And you were also able to have a couple beers. But that's when Billy's asking.
I was trying to figure out what it was a
detailed
work
breakdown.
trip. I was trying to figure out what we were doing because when it's very open ended, I was trying to make plans.
Billy, it's okay to just say, yeah, you're right. That's what I was doing. And I was trying to
I know,
not
but you're
drink.
making it sound like I was very okay. Never mind.
You were good, Billy. You did everything that you had to. So we have a podcast that was recorded inside of a Waffle House. And it was recorded at about 1:30 a.m. on Friday night, Saturday morning. It was a full Waffle House, and we sat down, had a great meal, brought the microphones out, and we got into some real stuff, because that's where dudes bond and girls bond, is in a Waffle House at 2 a.m. over the I'd say most delicious waffles in the world. They're definitely up there.
absolutely.
And grits.
Their grits are tasty. Their hash browns impeccable. So let's get into the Waffle House segment.
So my question was, seeing Big T so happy at the facility,
Right.
does it change your perspective on playing for Tennessee, for the Volunteers, of how much joy you brought to
Means a lot to a lot of people.
like
Good
Big
question.
T? How much they
good
loved
question.
you guys and loved the program.
It's a good question. It's a good one.
Does it change your
All right.
perspective on your whole time
That's a
at
great
UT?
question.
It is an amazing question. All right. So I'm going to say this. I called my mother after I left the facility, the practice facility, when I first visited, because I've had a lot of issues with the University of Tennessee. More as it wasn't necessarily the university and the people involved, it was more so the institution. And I had issues with the way things were run. And long story short, I called my mother today after I came back. I haven't been back in 10 years. And I was emotional. The reason why I was emotional was because when I was here, I was a young kid. And I was talking to my boys about this tonight. I was a young kid, like when I grew up. Like when your mother looks at you in your eyes and say, yo, there's no food tonight, that's a real feeling. You know, I felt that a lot while growing up. Gunshots, hearing gunshots growing up. Just grow up in that environment. And then coming here and fighting for your future. And having you feel like adults are hindering that future. It's one of the most frustrating things that you can have. Like, yo, y'all supposed to be guiding me, but you fucking me. And so you feel like the world is against you. And so coming back, long story short, coming back, having all of that animosity and all of those feelings and coming back feeling like I did it anyway, there's so many people, and I'm getting emotional now, but there's so many people that show me so much love that I got overwhelmed. I'm talking about the training staff. I had 30-minute conversations with the head trainer that I used to talk to every day. The administrators, the equipment managers, all these cats I haven't seen in 20 years, coming back, got me so emotional and so grateful for the time that I spent, that any animosity that I had is just gone. And it was like a really awakening moment for me, because it was like when you come from nothing, like I came from nothing, and when you have what I have now, you appreciate everything. And it's seeing that juxtaposition from when I was here and I didn't have anything and I was struggling. And I like there's an ongoing joke with a lot of Tennessee fans where it's like when we was broke and we told a coach, like, yo, we was finna go do something stupid if you don't get us some food. He came and brought us tacos, so there's like a taco jokes going on. But so from coming from something like where we was really out here grinding and had nothing to what I have now, and coming back to see the love that these people show, it just warmed my heart, it warmed my spirit. And I was in a place where I was like, when this nigga was petting Smokey,
I was.
And
I was scratching his ear.
and you can cut to that.
Yeah.
But when he was petting that dog, and I still don't fuck with dogs, but I was under the tent looking at it's Circle Park, right? It's called Circle Park.
Yeah.
I was under the tent on the grass, and I was looking at the place where I used to go to class. I used to walk every day. Used to take the T to the hill to all my other classes. And I was just looking like, bro, I really did what I set out to do when I was 7 years old. I almost cried.
It's pretty good.
I almost cried. And that was a great fucking question, my G.
It's pretty
It was a
good.
great fucking question.
Good job, Billy.
And like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into playing college sports in America when they're making millions of dollars and the players for a long time weren't making anything at all. And I can understand how you were feeling like anytime that there was a setback, it was somebody standing in between you and your goal. At the end of the day, like, it ended up working out pretty well for you, which is great. And but it's not. I'm not saying like it's because
No.
all the setbacks happened.
The realization I had was this, let's say a coach says, okay, you're not playing in front of this guy. We're choosing him now. In your mind, my dream has ended. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so that, and not understand, I mean, growing up with the emotional toll that I grew up with, I wasn't equipped to handle those emotions at that age. So that turned into anger and rage. And I directed it at the wrong people. And so coming back, what I really saw was the shit that I accomplished. The people that was here and saw that struggle were proud of me. You feel me? Yeah. And that shit changed. Oh, fuck.
No, that's good. That's good. Mad Dog, give him a hug. Give him a hug.
No, but shit,
Give him a hug.
it changed my perspective of the entire experience here. Because that's real, dog.
Yeah.
I seen people I know for 20 years come up to me and like, proud of you. That shit crazy. Fuck.
Isn't that so? Aaron, it's I get it, and I know that like it's tough to do.
No,
that.
it was. I know I had an emotional time
Yeah.
today. I had an emotional ass moment. And like I said, I called my mom and I was like crying on the phone. I called my.
It's okay, keep going.
I called my mom.
Like I didn't spill water on my penis.
No, I called my mom. I was like crying on the phone. I didn't understand why I was so emotional, but I went through therapy a lot of times, like in my later years, like when I was in the NFL, and I realized all of the emotions that I blocked out, was like a self-defense mechanism. But what I didn't realize was you don't get to pick and choose the emotions that come in. And so the negative emotions that I was protecting myself from, I was also avoiding myself from the positive emotions that people were trying to show me.
Yeah.
Feel me? And so that was the realization I had today. And so it was so emotional. So
You know what's crazy is like, I appreciate you saying all this stuff because I know it's tough sometimes to like dive into that and to feel that way. It is. What's crazy is like, I guarantee you there are some people that are actually listening to Macrodose right now that are thinking about like what they're dealing with growing up and relating to what you're saying, whether it's athletics or whether it's maybe they're into art or they're into any other specific you know point of interest that they have that are identifying with what you're saying and that are loving it. So that's cool, man. Thank you.
well, I think the main thing is just like the shit that I learned from all of this is like, bro, never be too cool to feel. You know what I mean? Because people care.
Yeah.
And if you block them out, you don't get to feel that.
I've seen so many people show you love here on campus today, and I'm happy for you, man. I really am.
It was a wild experience because like in my head I'm like, yo, them niggas, they hate me. But it's like when you come back and you see all these people show you so much love, it's like, damn, I get it.
There's a lot of love out there.
Yeah.
One thing nobody really talks about though when it comes to the economy like, why do we always measure the economy based on how the stock market's doing? Because the stock market is not the economy.
It's a relative indicator.
GDP.
No, it's kind of completely separated
the
though, because like
it's
you can-
how we measure it.
yeah, but why?
Well, it's kind of ridiculous that the GDP is the indicator of a country's well-being just because economically, and the stock market does represent a lot of GDP.
Yeah, but I
It's
feel
how
like
businesses are doing.
how some businesses are doing, how like big businesses, but just because big businesses are doing great doesn't mean that people are doing great.
Right.
In
That's
fact,
the whole juxtaposition.
in fact, there's probably like some inverse relationship to that to a certain extent. Like if Walmart is doing great, right? That means that they're probably figuring out a way to cut back on every cost that they can while still maximizing profits, right?
I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, if Tesla's doing great and more people are buying cars, it means people have more money to spend.
Yeah,
If
that could be right, but it also means that every business's job is to maximize share price, which part of that is delivering, like showing that you're getting higher revenue and lower expenses, or higher, which means like obviously higher profits. Jeff, here we are.
Hi, Jeff.
Jeff's interrupting our business talk with the dangerous sub from Subway. So Russell Wilson just put out a great advertisement yesterday.
This is a vitamin water for you.
Okay, thank you.
we like body armor.
Yeah, it's shit.
He put out a fantastic advertisement for the dangerous. Is it the dangerous sub?
Danger Witch.
The Danger Witch. So we've got the Danger Witch right here. And Jeff, be careful. It's spicy.
That was so weird.
Hang on. I want to reenact. The Danger Witch commercial. Can we zoom in?
Yeah.
Can we use that?
Well,
camera?
don't forget, you need another 6-inch to throw. He throws it just off camera.
I'm on your camera.
Do you think he ad-libbed that whole thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the entire speech. Okay.
you want to play it,
Yeah, yeah. Let's play it real quick so I can,
I got it. Hold on.
and then people can duet. People can duet me. Okay, we'll cut this part out.
Okay.
You gotta have it wrapped like you did.
And ready?
Yep.
Hey, you want to put this up on a sandwich? It is my signature sandwich. No, I'm good, man. It's called the Danger Witch.
Or do you only want?
play
Just his.
part.
I tweeted it out yesterday. It was deleted off the
He
internet.
deleted
initially.
it.
Really?
PFT also tweeted the full thing too.
So what happened was I tweeted the full thing, and then the person that had originally tweeted it out deleted their entire Twitter account.
That's a shame.
And then I tracked down who it was that tweeted out that video because they bragged about deleting their entire account because I was roasting it. And so then I just said to myself, wait a second, it's a TikTok video. I can go save the TikTok video.
Okay, I got.
tweet it out myself.
I have the one that doesn't have the
Okay.
duet. Okay.
Hey, you want to split this Subway sandwich? It is my signature sandwich. It's called the Danger Witch, and it's dangerously good. Be careful, though. It's spicy.
Mad Dog, can you restart it? I'm going to write down the script.
Right,
The
ready?
script.
The ASMR of him chewing is really
It's super Tim and
uncomfortable.
Eric-y. Like if anyone who watches Tim and Eric videos, like they're known for really like boosting their audio levels as the joke, and that's what this video sounds like.
All right, ready?
Yep.
You want to split this Subway sandwich?
I'm gonna let you type.
Was that the very start of it?
Yeah.
There was no hey?
There's
Hey.
a
You want to split this Subway sandwich? It is my signature sandwich.
Got it.
Yep.
It's called the Danger Witch, and it's dangerously good. Be careful, though. It's spicy. You ever done anything dangerous?
God.
Sounds like
Called
what's
Dane.
the
Wait.
Be careful, though. It's spicy. You ever done anything dangerous?
So much chewing.
Jeez. That is dangerous.
Oh, jeez.
I've done something like that too. I won't tell anybody.
God.
One time. Never mind. That's too dangerous. Anyways,
You good?
Hang on.
He sounds like he wants to fuck us.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
my danger witch, it's only in the vault. That's our little secret.
I don't.
Okay, that's it?
Yep.
All right. Wait, I'm going to put my shades on so I can read the script.
It looks decent.
It
And
smells
also,
good.
I haven't thought about getting Subway in
It
10
worked.
to 15 years.
Do you think Subway, did they write that or did he do it and they were like, that's going to go viral?
I think they put him in front of a camera and they said, we're going to let Russ cook. And that's what he made. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you want to split the sandwich? It's my signature sandwich. It's called the Danger Witch, and it's dangerously good. Be careful, though. It's spicy. You ever done anything dangerous? Oh, jeez, that is dangerous. I've done something like that, too. I won't tell anybody. One time, No, that's too dangerous. Anyways, my Danger Witch, it's only in the vault. It's our little secret. Is that creepy?
That's pretty creepy.
It's gross.
Cheers.
Russell Wilson needs to be arrested. He's like so many crimes in a row.
Is it spicy?
It's got salami, ham, banana peppers, green peppers, lettuce, mayo, mustard, tomatoes, and bacon and pepperoni.
I'm going to say it.
Italian herbs and cheese.
I'm going to say it. This is a great fucking sandwich.
Damn, that sucks.
Like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson.
Really good.
Russell Wilson made himself a good sandwich. I have no idea how involved he was in the process, and it's not spicy at all.
I wish it was a little more spicy.
Yeah, it needs more spicy. Be careful though.
Pretty
It's
good.
Spicy.
Danger Witch.
It's not spicy. There's like a little kick in there. If you have like the palate of a 2-year-old, it could be considered spicy. It's got some tang on it, but it's good. I give this like an 8 out of 10.
I'm very satisfied.
And I haven't had Subway in years. I don't like Subway. I like the smell.
I'm a
of
Danger
Subway.
Witch guy now.
Yeah, I'm exclusively a Danger Witch guy. Thank you for bringing that by, Jeff Lowe. Jeff, some people are saying that it's horse shit that the way that the new dozen season rankings have come out. Yeah. Yeah, some people are saying it's bullshit. Some people are angry about who's on the rookie team, where macrodosing is ranked overall.
Round of applause, Big T on the rookie team.
No applause. They don't give up the Heisman preseason, pal. You got to live up to expectations.
It sounds like you're upset that you're not number 1 or number 2. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Confirmed.
Billy, talk while I'm eating.
Let Billy cook
Well-
part 2.
All right. So, the real problem with gun control.
I'm listening.
That
it strips Americans of their constitutional rights
no.
and doesn't actually prevent gun violence?
Okay, great job, Billy. Just finished chewing.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Way to carry the show.
No. So Big T and PFT were arguing about gun control the other night when we were in Tennessee, and it was starting to get boring.
Were we?
Wait, what?
I don't remember that at all.
We were arguing about gun control?
Yeah, we were at the Asian fusion restaurant.
What were you arguing about gun control about?
I don't recall. We had some sort of conversation. I don't think it was.
Anyway, I ended the conversation just being alarmist and trying to like get them to be like, what? And just stop talking about it. I was just like, well, guys, the real problem is the CIA is arming school shooters. And they're like, what?
Oh, yeah, Billy did say that. Billy did say that indeed. All right, yeah, the Danger Witch is fucking good, man. That's I'm sad to say that.
But it's not like he had anything to do with that.
I don't know. Maybe this is Russ Wilson's best career path. From this
They probably
point on.
said, name 3 things you want on it, and we'll craft it around that.
It's salami, pepperoni, ham, banana peppers, green peppers, bacon. It's good. Like, no cap. It's good. On God. Dead ass. It's good.
Be careful, though.
It's giving delicious.
Shut the fuck up, Mad Dog.
Oh, that one took it too far.
Yeah, that one did. That one absolutely did.
Subway, let's ride.
Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Waffle House discussion. That was fun. I had a great time. I had a blast with you all off site.
So that was about 8 minutes of what we recorded, about 45. The rest of it will be on the vlog. So I'll put more from the Waffle House. Obviously, you have to cut some of it. It's a lot of like gibberish, but a lot of it will be on the vlog for sure.
And hand up. I don't know if you included this in the Waffle House part. I was feeling the effects of psychedelic mushrooms at the time. I don't know if you included that part.
No, not yet. They will be in the vlog though. For
okay.
sure.
Yeah. So somebody slipped me, basically dosed me with mushrooms.
Slipped them to you, meaning gave them to you.
Put them in my hand.
And then
I
voluntarily.
Then I swallowed them. Yeah.
There's no illicit drugs that start with T.
That start with T?
But besides like tramadol,
Yeah.
or like
tryptophan.
But yeah, but like I've been trying to think of a
Ain't
big.
that the shit in Turkey?
Yeah.
In
Oh,
Turkey.
for a second, I was like, wait, what are they selling over in Turkey? I thought you were talking about the country. That'd be really confusing, wouldn't it? If Turkey started like distilling like hardcore industrial strength tryptophan that just like knocks you out.
You can buy that.
Yeah, well, like what if Turkey, the country, developed a bunch of labs, and then you're like, oh, isn't that the stuff that you can get in Turkey? And then people just get super confused by it.
So there's a pretty powerful
Deception.
nootropic that's a type of tryptophan called 5-HTP, which is it gets you pretty high. It's a 5-hydroxytryptophan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an antidepressant. Like, you can buy it like at any supplement store, but it gives you a pretty like dopey buzz.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those like it doesn't really have a come down. It's like, but it gets you pretty euphoric.
Okay.
But that's basically industrial strength tryptophan.
Okay, I like it.
It's pretty wild. If you mix it with like alcohol.
All right, let's not tell people how to create their own drug cocktails.
Okay.
We
It was
should
funny.
talk.
Last week on PMT, we were talking about the girl over at Utah State that called in a bomb threat on their nuclear facility that they have on campus, which is apparently something that they have on campus. And we were talking about how it kind of rocks that they have a nuclear reactor on campus. And then Big Cat was like, oh yeah, they have one at Purdue as well. And then Billy chimes in, he goes, low key, it's actually pretty easy to make your own nuclear reactor.
A Boy Scout made a nuclear reactor using fire alarms, because there's little bits, and then you just take all of those.
Yeah, but Bill, okay. Once again, I'm
and then
asking
you
you.
put 'em
Once again,
in
I'm
a
asking
lead
you to not
pipe.
instruct our listeners on how to create a nuclear bomb. Thank you, Billy.
Okay, you should not drink alcohol while taking 5-HTP because you might get a seizure.
Okay.
But there's a
That's
line.
good news.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
All right. Sorry, Avery. You were saying?
I was saying we should talk a little bit about Hurricane Ian. I mean, it literally is looking like they're saying it's going to be the 5th strongest hurricane to ever hit the U.S.
Yeah, it was a Category 4, almost a Category 5 when it hit Florida.
Yeah, so my mom had a house in Sanibel. I don't know if anybody listening to the show lives around the Fort Myers, Sanibel area, but they're saying it could be uninhabitable by the time this ends.
It's just tearing shit up.
Yeah.
Storm surge.
Yeah.
I saw one video. It was pretty creepy. It's of a bay near Tampa.
Oh yeah.
And it had all the water got blown out of the channel, and it got moved. Like the water got displaced by the high winds and moved out to the ocean. And so there's this bay that's normally under, I don't know, several feet of water, probably like dozens of feet of water, be my guess. It's just completely empty, and you can see like the sand. People are out there walking across it, and in a couple minutes after that video is taken, there's going to be the resurgence of the storm, and the water's going to come back in after it gets blown back out of the ocean. Just creepy stuff. Hurricanes are powerful, man. Don't fuck with them.
No, there's one video, I sent it to you guys. It's a video from a camera's point of view in Fort Myers, and the camera's 6 feet off the ground, and it's getting covered in water. It's insane.
Yeah, I interviewed a storm chaser on Billy's List, and hearing his stories from like going to places where hurricanes were going to strike to get footage, he said that number one, they hate the storm chasers because mostly it's rescue first responders staying in the hotels near the hurricanes, and they just like see them as a total drain on resources and total liability. But it is being in those storm zones has got to be so surreal. Just that being on the edge of danger.
What's the number one place in America where like no natural disasters happen? Like,
That's a good
like what's the safest place to be
New York.
to have no natural disasters?
Ohio has like nothing.
Tornadoes.
No, not really.
No, I got almost hit by a tornado.
In Ohio?
In Ohio
You
one
were?
time.
I've seen that video.
Yeah.
But they usually don't touch down, if anything.
I was gonna say a little north of that, like Michigan, maybe.
Yeah, it says Michigan.
Because middle of the
Michigan's
country,
number
you
one.
have tornadoes.
What about Colorado?
New Hampshire.
Colorado, you have avalanches in the mountains.
Oh yeah.
The 20 best places to live to avoid natural
Imagine
disasters.
if you lived your life like that, just scared of
Number 1 is Olympia.
Washington?
Yes, Olympia, Washington. Number
Yeah,
2, Spokane.
no till forest fires.
Forest fires or North Korea missile.
Yeah. Well, that's man-made.
top 3 are all in Washington.
New York used to be pretty. The cold waters of New York, of the Atlantic, have always defended New York from hurricanes, but they may be warming up, and we may be getting hit with hurricanes. What was the one in the Great Storm of 1932? My grandma always talks about that one.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that one. There was, but I feel like Nevada probably does pretty well in terms of natural disasters. Probably some droughts,
Yeah,
obviously, because it's
water.
the desert. Las Vegas should not exist. It's a city that really has no reason to exist besides sex. I think it's a pretty big reason, actually, now that I think about it. It's one of the better reasons. Missouri? What does Missouri have?
Tornadoes.
Tornadoes, yeah, true. Tennessee.
A lot of tornadoes.
The Northeast is pretty. It would only be a hurricane hitting the Northeast or a nor'easter, but those.
What about the Dakotas?
Oh, tornadoes.
Blizzards.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty flat.
God damn.
I'd say blizzards and just despair. Your whole life is a natural disaster if you live in North Dakota, let's be honest. Like you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh shit, I have to shovel 5 feet of snow again. Oh, and it's icy. Oh, and it's gray.
Okay, Eric Adams.
I'm not talking about North Dakota's brand. Their brand is pheasant hunting and great Division I FCS football.
I'm gonna get.
And people who all have the very similar hair color and build to Big T. Your beard would play in North Dakota. It would.
Could see that.
Everyone's got this like mild reddish hue to them, and I think it's because they're all from the same part of Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Billy, can you look into that for me? Like,
Well, that's
in terms of their genetics.
well Brock Lesnar,
yeah, exactly.
but that's South Dakota.
Well, just look into that. I'd like a report from you about the genetic makeup of people from the Dakotas.
I actually heard like the population of Sweden. I think it was like 50% immigrated to the U.S. in that time.
My family did that.
Yeah, and they settled, Minnesota, Dakotas.
Mm-hmm.
They actually, I think, came through Canada. A lot of them.
Not Ellis Island.
No.
Okay, so let's hop into our topic for the day. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
What's our topic?
Speaking of having to deal with shitty weather all the time in North Dakota, today's topic is Snowden. You like that?
Again, folks.
That was. I'm gonna give that a 7.
I made that
No,
joke.
7 is way too
I
generous.
made that joke in the group chat.
That is
first.
true. Billy
Yeah,
had already
I
said
did,
that
so-
too.
Yep. So
Give me my flowers.
it was double ironic. That's why I
Yeah.
said it wasn't even a 7. It was a New York 5, but a North Dakota 9. That's how that joke went.
So I was snowed in all morning reading about Edward Snowden.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about Snowden. Billy, I want you to drop some facts on us. Can you take us back to the beginning with Edward Snowden?
Yeah. Before the beginning.
Before the beginning. The pre-ginning.
Edward Snowden was consummated on a bed with American flag sheets. And patriotism has always been a large part of his family.
Okay. Was he really?
No.
Okay.
Okay. He was born...
That's a great start here.
Okay, so he was born June 21st, 1983, in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. His father was in the Army Reserve, and patriotism was always a large part of Edward Snowden's life. He, in May 7th, 2004, inspired by 9/11 in the war in Iraq, he enlists in the Army Reserves as a Special Forces candidate. 4 months later, he is discharged from the Army Reserve without completing any training. He then, in 2013, starts working for a company called Booz Allen Hamilton, which is an information technology consulting company. And with that, he had access to many of the tech companies that were helping advise the government. So, he was so basically like consulting companies. If you don't know what they do, they get paid to do other companies' work.
Yeah. So Booz Allen Hamilton is one of the major consultancies that operate. They operate, across the United States, probably worldwide as well. But they're massive in Northern Virginia, Maryland, D.C. So all these government agencies have big programs that they operate, whether it's Department of Defense, Department of the Interior. Think of any software program that would be needed to maintain the world's biggest bureaucracy. So whether that's CRM systems, accounting, or special projects that they create. It's not like the Department of Defense necessarily has, hundreds and hundreds of developers capable of designing and executing a project that just sit around working for them. So they outsource it to just groups of very smart people that get hired basically right out of college to work for these consultancies and then get brought in as hired guns on any project that they might have.
What's interesting that Snowden dropped out of high school. So he had somehow gotten to this position. Very smart guy, but he ended up going to the University of Liverpool in the end to get a degree, but at the time he did not have a degree. So then in May 16th, 2013, Snowden had his first direct exchange with Washington Post reporter Barton Gellman, which is going to be important later in the story. But this is when Snowden leaves for Hong Kong in 2013 and starts working with multiple tech companies in this consulting role. So Snowden then reported to reporter Barton Gellman, that the Washington Post, should publish information about PRISM, a surveillance program that gathers information from Facebook, Microsoft, Google, and others. And this was one of the first leaks and first acknowledgments of existence of PRISM. And PRISM is basically it was an intelligence program that harvested all our data and harvest all the data that these big tech companies were selling to the government. And Snowden became a big whistleblower on the whole thing.
So wait, let's back up a little bit, because Arian, you've got some experience dealing with Edward Snowden, don't you?
Very vague, but yeah. I had never even heard of Buddy until 2018. I just really wasn't into the story. Just it never crossed my desk. Until I was just looking for a dope movie. I always search like spy movies, and this one came up as like a pseudo spy movie, and just got hella interested in the story. Did a little bit of reading about him, and just how big of a story it was in the U.S. and in our political stratosphere. And so I just took to Twitter just because I was curious about like what people thought of him, because I really wasn't sure where to place it. So I was just kind of gauging people's responses about what they thought about it. And so I just ran a little poll on Twitter that ended up getting a lot of traction. Like, was he a patriot? and ended up getting to him, I think like a day or two later. And he responded. And it was just fascinating that a little poll, one, that would reach him to that extent, but two, that he's still struggling in, I guess, internally with like being or what he did. Just kind of coming to terms with it and how he's viewed publicly. And so he ended up responding. He said, and it was overwhelmingly yes. So it was like 90% yes, 10% no. And then he said, this is a little spot of hope for all those out there who worry like the truth no longer matters. Propaganda fades with time, but facts endure. 5 years have really moved the needle on a question that used to be controversial. And so then I DM'd him and asked him what he thought about it all. And he told me to fuck off, actually.
Seriously?
No, I'm just joking. I was playing. Last part's just jokes. But no, it was just interesting to see that it reached him, and it was dope.
Yeah. So the CIA and the NSA, more specifically, I guess, the NSA had an idea before they developed a PRISM system, and I don't know, maybe you guys can help kind of unpack this a little bit before we talk about what Edward Snowden did for them and exactly why he did what he did. But their idea was they were tasked with stopping any further terrorist attacks in the United States. That was part of their deal, the National Security Agency. Part of that was also dealing with wars going on overseas and stuff like that. But also they were dealing with threats to America. And they realized, oh shit, we've got all this cell phone data from all the cell phone companies. That pretty much, it tracks where people are taking them. It tracks where they go. We can track emails that are sent as well. We've got, with the internet like connecting us more so than it's ever connected us before, there's tons of stuff that we can look at and we can start to put together patterns and pieces that can help us determine whether or not somebody is more of a threat to make an attack. And so they start to do that. They start to build that out without thinking like, is this a violation of people's individual rights? And if it is a violation, is it a worthwhile violation if it helps us to stop attacks and shit? So that's a question that they have to wrestle with, because it probably has helped us catch some terrorists, but it also has been like a massive violation of, I think, a lot of people's expected right to privacy. Big T, where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I definitely stand more on the side of privacy. Those who are willing to give up a little liberty for a little security deserve neither.
Mm-hmm.
And I do you feel less safe now than before this information came to light? I do not. I don't think it had much of an impact on our ability to secure ourselves.
I think if you think that we've stopped doing this, you're full of shit. Like we've.
Oh, no, I don't at all.
Yeah.
But the argument was this is a huge detriment to national security. This makes it much more difficult. I don't think.
Oh,
that's
that has been
true.
uncovered.
Yeah.
I've always operated on the mindset that any email that I send, any text that I send it as if you expect it to be read aloud in court one day. Like it's nothing's secret. Billy's laughing because he's like, oh shit, I definitely sent some things that. Why are you laughing, Billy?
No, I mean, just like if the group chat ever got leaked with like, everyone's got their group chat with their buddies, like the meme, like everyone getting arrested because the group chat gets leaked.
Yeah. I don't know if I have an arrestable group chat out there.
No, but that's
most of my group chats. They would just pull me into a room and be like, "Tell me more about this Billy football." He's raising a lot of alarms. All right, so I want everybody to participate in a social experiment right now. It's just send a text in your most close group chat saying, "I'm going to set off a bomb in Washington D.C." So just do that, and we'll see if the NSA is truly still spying. All right, Billy, you go first.
Group me. Is group me count?
No, don't do that, Billy. Don't do that. I don't want to see you.
I'm about to say I will not be partaking in this.
Yeah. So the fact that most people would hear that and be like, no, I'm not going to do it. I think we all kind of accept the fact that the government spies on us to a certain extent, right? Did you think that same way, Arian, back in like 2008, 2009?
I did. Yeah, I did. My dad was like really He grew up in the 70s, with the Black Panther Party and that whole fruit of Islam in the 80s, 90s. And so we grew up with a healthy distrust and skepticism of the government and their initiatives and their motives. And so we, like in our communities, have always thought the FBI or the CIA was responsible for Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. And so we've always thought that.
What about anybody else in this room? You guys probably weren't of age to be rolling with cell phones in 2008, huh? 2009.
I was too young.
I think I got my first phone in 2010.
And did it come with any instructions like Big T? Do not call. Do not make certain threats.
I don't think so.
So when your parents gave you a phone, they weren't like, be careful what you send?
Yeah, I think I couldn't text on it at first. I could only call people. But yeah, no, I don't remember anything specifically. I'm sure they probably did.
You had a Nokia?
Actually, I think I did have a cell phone when I was but I was also roaming around the city.
Yeah.
And I had a cell phone when I was on the subway and stuff.
The city of New York was Billy's babysitter.
Yeah, and I had a Nokia that I got from my sister that was like a brick.
You had like 2 buttons on it, like call parents, call sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I just always operate under the assumption that somebody will be able to pay attention to this. And so they started looking for patterns and shit. And the government had this big spy program started by George W. Bush.
Patriot Act.
In the Patriot Act. And the Patriot Act was maybe one of the biggest disasters in terms of like taking away civil liberties in United States history. I'd say like Patriot Act, it's not close to like the Japanese Internment Act, where we just like sort of put people in concentration camps during World War II. But it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad that they just kind of ripped everything apart. All they have to do is just say you're suspected of terrorism, and then a judge will sign basically an unlimited search warrant, and they can tap into all your shit. So we started tapping into everyone's shit. Basically, we just took all their data and we said, okay, we're going to feed it into this big machine, and then we're going to use that to put together patterns and figure out who's a terrorist and who's not. And yeah, there's going to be some outliers and some things that get caught up and some innocent people, but that's just kind of how the pattern's going to have to go. So that was kind of the impetus of PRISM, was to track terrorists and stop terrorism. And Snowden started working on it. So Snowden, he dropped out of high school, right?
Yeah, he dropped out of high school, went to a community college for a small amount of time, but never received an undergraduate degree. He then, he was a computer whiz, so he was really good with computers. His first job out of high school was as so he ended up getting a job with the CIA because he was so good with computers. This was in 2006. He attended a job fair focused on intelligence agencies, and he got assigned to the Global Communications Division at CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. He was super good with computers, so they stationed him everywhere, and he was always working a lot with technical intelligence. And this ended up putting him in Geneva, Switzerland. He was stationed there in 2007, and he was responsible for maintaining computer network security there. And basically, he had a diplomatic passport and, all the CIA type, get up. This is what he claims. And he claims that he helped deliberately get a Swiss banker to get a DUI as leverage so that they could bail him out and use him to extract, to get the banker to divulge information that he knew, because Switzerland is a banking haven because they don't really let anyone financially look at what's going on. So a lot of foreign organizations put their money there that aren't necessarily the best people. So the CIA always is trying to get information on who's putting money into Switzerland. Mm-hmm. So they ended up getting this banker drunk, having him pulled over, and he says that this is a story that he told, that they then helped bribe all the Swiss police and judges to get this banker out using government funds. So Yeah, so he was a spy, for lack of better terms. He claims. The CIA denies this, and they're like, this would mean the CIA successfully bribed the Geneva police and judiciary, which I just can't imagine. That was CIA's statement, but it's like the CIA's done a lot worse stuff than bribe
Swiss police.
Yeah. So he then was working as a contractee for Dell, and he was looking into mass surveillance in China. And this is sort of when he was looking for Dell, because Dell was like, we're selling products in China. We need to know how the Chinese might try to use this to survey on their own citizens, because they're just open about it. And what Snowden realized while working there is that the U.S. was also doing the same surveillance. And then this is when he was contracted by Booz Allen Hamilton after working for the CIA, after working for Dell. Booz Allen Hamilton was like, this guy's, he's got a great skill set, and we could use a guy like that. And that's when he was contracted out to the NSA under Booz Allen Hamilton and gained access to a lot of the information that he then divulged.
Interesting.
So he had a very complicated background. CIA agent, tech wizard, according like his words, like employment was never hard for him because he was so good with computers, and that made him such a high asset. He got access to crazy amounts of information that he then went on to divulge to the public with Prism and to the Washington Post. So this is when they started to prosecute him.
So I feel like, and let's just jump back real quick here. I think we need to do an entire episode about people that worked at PayPal and what they've gone on to do, because you can trace, like, most of America's companies right now have direct ties to executives at PayPal. You have Elon Musk. Peter Thiel is another big one. And so Peter Thiel, he started a company called Palantir, and they've denied that they were instrumental in creating the Prism software that the NSA used, but they do have a piece of software called Prism, and they were funded by the CIA and their venture capital unit. It's not entirely funded. Peter Thiel definitely had his own sources of funding he could go out and get, but the CIA developed a branch of their company, or an initiative called In-Q-Tel, because they realized that the CIA, their technology was falling behind what private companies were able to do. So private companies, after the .com boom, they were able to hire better software engineers and create different types of technology that the government didn't have or hadn't thought about, because there was more money in the private sector. Whereas before that, all the software, for the most part, that was coming out to the private sector had some sort of parallel program that had also been developed inside the U.S. government. But at this point, it's like, okay, private sector they've got all the best minds out there developing cutting edge software that the U.S. government does not get a piece of. So the CIA started this thing called In-Q-Tel, which is almost like an incubator or like an investment branch of the CIA that helped to fund private companies in exchange for getting their hands on some of the stuff they were creating. One of those companies was Palantir, which was headed by Peter Thiel. And it was a relatively small investment. I think publicly we only know that they got, I want to say $2 million, maybe $4 million. So it's not like they're pouring a shitload of money into it, but it's still millions of dollars. Like, it's still, it's not nothing. You can still, and especially if it's like a seed investment that you're expecting a return on, when they don't have anything going on right now, it's not insignificant. So there's a lot of speculation that Palantir has been instrumental in developing and maintaining and upgrading the Prism system, even though they've denied it. They said they had nothing to do with it, and it's not any of their people that are working on it, but it very well could be. And if you look at what Palantir does, their big thing is they collect shitloads of data, and then they infer and extrapolate things from that data to give people better visibility as to either customers' patterns, or they work with security companies too. Overseas, they do a shitload of work with the government tracking terrorists, and they work with branches of the military. And so they they're experts at finding these little patterns in data and then pulling them out and identifying potential risks and threats. So they do that shit all the time. They claim that they're not involved in prison, but maybe that's something that we dive into later. Is just everything. The PayPal coaching tree, I think, would be a good episode. But Peter Thiel he's definitely got links to this. Not to say that he invented Prism or that he helped to create it, but he might have.
Yeah. And who knows, that investment might have been a couple million, but who knows what kind of contracts that they promised to give
right.
On top of that for the information. You know who actually gave the most information, I think, when they first checked on it? I'm not sure the exact year, but Yahoo. Yahoo was selling tons of information.
Yeah.
That's what, so like, if you're wondering how Yahoo is able to stay afloat and against Google, and you're like, what the hell are these guys doing? Like I think Yahoo's most utilized today for just their fantasy football.
Oh, for sure.
That's probably the most use they get out of it. So it's like they're just collecting information.
For sure.
Yeah.
If the government ever needs to know like how many people drop Kirk Cousins after a primetime game, then Yahoo's getting that call.
Yeah.
I wonder what sort of fantasy football indicators there would be about society.
Probably how much, well, you can't put that in. Probably mostly networking.
It's like we were talking about
who.
Yeah, we were talking networking, like who's in different groups with who. We were talking about the Waffle House index earlier, where it's like if there's a certain amount of Waffle Houses that are closed for business, it means that a natural disaster is coming. I wonder if there's like a Yahoo fantasy football index.
Yeah. It's probably a good way to map out connections.
Yeah.
Like who knows who's in a fantasy football league with another person. I mean,
like who's high
do you
school?
think a terrorist cell has like a fantasy football league?
They might, but it might be soccer. I feel like
oh yeah, that's
more popular in countries like where terrorism usually comes from.
Yeah. So, but that was like an example. You probably could deduce a lot from what leagues people are in. That's an association.
Yeah. And it's usually like connections that go deep.
Yeah.
Like back to high school.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point, Billy. So talking about Edward Snowden. So he goes to work out in Hawaii, right?
When he gets arrested, when they go after him?
Yeah.
Hong Kong. So he moved to Hong Kong while he was divulging all this information to Barton Gellman. And then the Washington Post then disclosed the existence of PRISM, outed Snowden as their source for the intelligence leaks. Booz Allen then released a statement confirming that Snowden had been an employee of their firm.
I'm pretty sure he worked, but before that he worked in Hawaii. So he worked for the NSA. Like when he made these leaks, he fled to Hong Kong afterwards.
Right.
But when he was making these leaks, he was in Hawaii, I'm pretty sure, as a contractor. And so he tried to like tell his bosses like, hey, this is unethical what we're doing. We're able to access, we're reading people's private emails. That's what his big concern was, right? Like people would just read private citizens' emails and would be like, oh, this person's sending nudes, and like look at pictures and shit and just act in general unprofessionally, which I don't even know if you can blame those people directly for it. I mean, you definitely can, but at the same time, if you create a big program where you allow all of your employees to look at anyone's email at any given time and like find nudes from anybody, you're creating a system where like just by human nature, people are going to take advantage of that shit and they're going to look it up.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen. Like
the crazier thing about this is like when I was in college before, this was like when cell phones were just starting to get their run, right? Like iPhone 1 started to come out. It was like sidekicks. Like I used to go on my buddies' phones and just see like how they would talk to people. Like I had no real reason. I wasn't trying to find anything incriminating, but I used to just take their phones. I just be like, let me see your phone. And he used to give it to me. And I'm just like looking how they communicate with people and how they talk to females with the. And it's like, if you have somebody's phone and their insights, you know them better than anybody, right? And this is what's scary about this is because they're selling that what ended up the revelations that came from all this is they're selling data to these companies. basically. They're paying these companies to have access to all this data, right? So these companies have access to this data, right? And this is not necessarily a point on the surveillance. This is more necessarily a point on the information gathered, is that these companies now know us like better than we pretend to, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? And so this is why, like, when you talk about like capitalism in the sense of having a monopoly on markets, it's because they have so much data and they're privy to so much data that no smaller company can ever catch up to the analytics because they know what consumers want better than anybody. That's, to me, was the most revealing thing about how much data these companies can actually collect.
If we had Snowden on the podcast, I would want to ask him about all those like Instagram or ads where we like are thinking about something and then it just pops up, or like someone sees something.
They can't tap the thoughts. They can tap.
But I
I
know. But it's almost like some people say that they think that they can tap the thoughts.
In a way, they can tap the thoughts though, because they recognize online patterns in people, and they've done studies of like eye tracking on pages and all that stuff. They know how you're going to think before you think it. That's the thing. It's kind of even evolved towards tracking thoughts and evolved into forcing thoughts on people. So they can force thoughts on you. That's what's kind of scary. It's like they know what you want before you want it, and they can make you do something. Right? They have the data that says we can make 33% of people that visit this page do the thing that I want them to do.
And they know what kind of people like engage in that kind of consumerism. You're right in that sense.
If they wanted to, they could turn people into terrorists. Like if you just like recruit,
they have.
Yeah, they have.
They have.
I think it's pretty remarkable how quickly this was 2013, 14.
2013, I believe, is when he sent the data.
So,
that's when he went to Hong Kong.
So about 10 years. That in a decade we've gone from when this came out, it was a massive, massive deal. Not that it wouldn't be today, but in 10 years we've gone from that to something like TikTok, which the information it is taking from everyone that uses it is unreal. Like if you've read any of these articles about it's so much further past anything else. And it's not like Twitter and all those other things aren't doing it too. And I feel like now there's just sort of this resigned, it is what it is to it. And I'm guilty of that too. I'm on TikTok every day. And 10 years ago when this happened, it was groundbreaking stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
and now people are just resigned to it.
You're right. I think there were fewer applications that people used on their phones and on their computers, but it was still like people were on the internet in 2013. The internet was huge. But now it's more like there are more apps on your cell phone because the iPhone and the Android, those are still like relatively new back in 2012, 2013. And now they've just become so much more advanced and that people's entire lives are tied into those phones. They use them for more things, whether that be getting around day to day or just entertainment like TikTok. And we should all be, I think we all kind of understand the fact that when we use TikTok, we're giving all the information to not only to China, but also probably to anyone that has access to the data that goes through our different internet providers in the United States. We were kind of resigned to that. Like when they put out the Pokemon game back in 2016, and the entire thing was just like people were just walking around their houses with their cameras out, like trying to find these little Pokemons.
Tracking your location everywhere you went.
They have a full map of the inside of your house now. It's like we're resigned to it. Back then, you're right, Big T. It was like, oh shit, the government's reading my emails without a warrant. I can't believe it. The government that I trusted. And now it's like, okay, we've completely given up. Anything that we do on our phones, on our computer will probably be tracked. And someone's probably using it for bad reasons. But what are you going to do? Not go on TikTok and see this adorable video of a dog shaking off in slow motion after it gets out of a pool? Not me. I got to see that dog, man. It's almost like we're trading what we know to be a long-term bad investment for just give me that short-term hit of dopamine, baby. Just give me just make me feel happy for a second.
And it's not just a hard fix. We just gotta vote these old motherfuckers out of Congress. Bro. Have you ever seen a congressional meeting on like technology? It's one of them.
They have no idea.
They have no idea what's going on, and it's like they don't understand that is the future. and the future is gonna be. I mean, every single thing is tied to the internet. Your banking, your housing, your cars, your business, everything's tied to it. So it's like there needs to be some kind of regulatory practices that stops these big businesses from collecting and harvesting all this data, because it's dangerous. It's great for business though, which is my core issue with capitalism.
But I don't think that's going to happen if you like if everyone in the House and Senate was 35. I don't think that this practice would stop.
I think
Of course not. That's why you gotta hire ethical people.
it'd be a good thing to have people who were under the age of 30 even, or like 35, that really knew what they were doing, in charge of like a technology committee in Congress. And then also put like one old dude on there that's been around for a while, that's seen like, that can compare shit that happened back in like the 1980s to what's happening right now with this technology. Like one person just remind us of the past in a room full of like 30-year-olds that know exactly what's going on with the applications in front of them. Because I think Arian's right. Like if you watch the clips of old people trying to do like House hearings and being like, and then you're on the face space, they sound like Bill Belichick when he's talking about what he wants his players to be doing like during the bye week, you know? So it's, I think we need younger people in Congress to talk about it right now. Because right now, if you're talking about technology and you're in the Senate, you're just basically repeating what your closest aide has told you about what they saw online. You have no actual applicable practice using that technology that you're now legislating on.
When did it start? When did like I've noticed in a lot of these lately, a lot of these congressional hearings, like Republicans will use like these big old signs to like advocate for their point. When did that start? I don't remember that always been a thing. That's like fairly recent, is it not?
It's also Katie Porter. She's the Democrat, I think, from California. She does it too.
Right.
Or she has like a whiteboard maybe sometimes that she brings out.
Yeah.
But you're right. They're using like way more visual aids.
Yeah. I don't hate it. Some of them get silly.
Sometimes they just put memes up there that end up being completely false.
Like that's like ridiculous.
Just like something that's been printed off the internet by somebody, and then later it's like, oh yeah, that was a Photoshop. My bad. That shit happens all the time too. All right, so Edward Snowden, 2013, he leaves. He goes. He's at a facility in Hawaii. That's where he finds out all this shit, and then he smuggles a thumbnail, or it's not a thumb drive. He takes a USB drive out of the facility, and then he emails those files. They need to do a better, like if you are making sure that nobody is stealing anything, like it seemed like it was a very easy thing to steal that data. Like I don't understand how.
But he was a computer whiz, so I think he was able to bypass all fingerprints.
He's like writing the programs in order to go around things.
And he didn't even work for the government, right? He was just contracted.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
But the people that the government contracts are the people that they don't want people to know are in the government.
Yeah, they do. They're on like top secret clearance. They do all sorts of shit. I like to imagine any real life situation like it's in a movie where he's got the thumb drive plugged into the computer.
It's downloading.
And it's downloading on the screen. And it's like getting up to 90%, 92%. His boss is walking down the hallway. He's like, come on. And then his boss walks in the room just as he takes it out, and he's turning around to get up. And it was like, oh, if it was a half second later, we'd still be running the spy operation.
The thing is, if you saw if you saw someone downloading something onto a thumb drive, like the people who probably didn't want him to do that probably had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Like he was probably so much more above what anybody else was doing in there that he was able to do it because it looked like he was, just doing his computer geek thing. Mm-hmm. Then if someone asks, oh, what are you putting on the thumb drive? Just like, something I want to work on at home because I didn't get home early tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
it probably wasn't as intense as the movie. I don't know if did you ever see the movie?
I saw it, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or whenever it came out.
I forget the actor's name. He was on Third Rock from the Sun. He did a great job. But he's like, it's the same thing. He steps on it. He slides. It's like a whole but it probably wasn't even that intense. It's probably just like he took it home.
Yeah. I think maybe the easiest place to get somebody to give you all their shit is like outside of a big convention, if you just hand them a free thumb drive, then they just people love getting free shit, right? So if you just hand somebody like a gift basket and it's got like a t-shirt, it's got a water bottle in there, and then it's got a thumb drive with your company's branding on it, then they plug it into their computer and then boom, that just connects them.
I once found a super good thumb drive, but now that we use the cloud, I don't know what happened to it. But it was like back in like middle school, it was the shit. It was like we used to put all sorts of stuff on that thumb drive.
Yeah.
And it was like 25 gig. Wait, I need to find this. It was like a SanDisk, like 100 gigabyte.
Do you think?
And I found it in a library.
I feel like I've heard of foreign governments trying to do that at like national conventions for Democrats or Republicans. They hand out a bunch of stuff to people that they think are like political operatives, and then just hoping that some of them will plug it into their computer. It's like, remember when didn't Putin meet with Trump at one point and he gave him a soccer ball, and the soccer ball had like a microphone or something in it?
Oh no, there was a
I didn't hear about this.
No, there was an actual story from the Cold War of the Russians gave a senator a carved eagle, I want to say, that had a microphone in it. Microphone. I'll find that.
Putin gave Trump a soccer ball that may have a transmitter chip.
Yeah. The Thing listening device.
The images of the ball that Putin handed to Trump appear to show a logo indicating it has a chip included as part of a standard feature. The Adidas website explains that the technology gives users access to different functionalities, including exclusive information about the product, Adidas football content, special competitions, and challenges. And so I guess, why do we need that in a soccer ball?
We needed a football.
Goal line technology, I think.
Is that what it's for?
No. We need to figure that out.
Figure what out?
We need to put chips in footballs.
I agree.
Actually, aren't there chips in footballs? Wait.
There are, yeah.
Yeah, now in the
For
NFL
the
ones.
next gen stats and stuff.
Yeah. We discovered that when we were arguing about who owned the Tom Brady's last touchdown, the one that Mike Evans threw.
So really it's Amazon that owns it.
Maybe.
Because there are chips inside.
Yeah, but the Thing, also known as the Great Seal Bug, was one of the first covert listening devices to use passive techniques to transmit an audio signal. It was concealed inside a gift given by the Soviet Union to W. Averell Harriman, the United States ambassador to the Soviet Union, on August 4th, 1945. Because it was passive, needing electromagnetic energy from an outside source to become energized and active, it is considered a predecessor of radio frequency identification. So basically, it was a great seal, which was just like the seal of the U.S. was given. Yeah, it was a great seal of the U.S., a carved wooden seal, and they gave it to the ambassador to the Soviet Union, and it was just bugged. It was a bug.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
So, so part of the controversy about Snowden is that he did like a giant data dump, right? He just handed over lots and lots and lots of raw data, and it wasn't all related to the surveillance of American citizens. There was other stuff in there that had to do with other parts of the military and our technologies and stuff like that. So some people are like, hey, that's why he's a traitor, because he gave away all this information when he was just trying, he could have just tried to minimize what he was giving away and just focus solely on the PRISM program. I think he was just trying to like show this data is 100% real because I've got access to all this stuff. Here it is, like total transparency. But that's why some people are like, yo, he's a traitor. I don't think he's a traitor. I think he was trying to do the right thing.
His grandfather was in the FBI, an officer for the FBI, and was at the Pentagon during 9/11. And every publication always stresses that he really loves America, and service has always been a part of his family. I think his father was in the Coast Guard.
Mm-hmm.
So this sort of theme of service always rings in all of these writings about him. But that could be just good PR in framing in what he did. But I think that's why he did it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, he also said, and I'll give him this point, the dude James Clapper was director of national intelligence, which is a great name, by the way, James Clapper. And he was testifying to Congress, and they asked him like point blank if the government spies on American citizens using their cell phones and email. He said no, they don't do it. Just straight up lied about it. And so Snowden said that he saw that, and he was like, okay, fuck this dude, I'm going to put it out.
What did he leak about? I'm gonna look into the military leak because I want to know. Oh yeah, it was more. Yeah, he was leaking about how the military does surveillance in other countries, and that like several South American politicians were bugged, and they were surveillancing like tons of foreign leaders.
So he goes to Hong Kong, chills there for a little bit. You know why he went to Russia?
Because it was the only flight he could get.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he ended up in Russia not by chance, but he was trying to go to a place with no extradition, and he got trapped in the Russian airport because I think he was trying to get somewhere else, but because his passport got canceled by the U.S., so he couldn't move, and he had to. Then they stopped him in Russia, and he was sort of in this limbo type state where I think he was basically living in the airport, or they detained
for like a
him.
month. He was there for like a month, yeah.
And then they ended up he filed for asylum in Russia, and
well, he filed for asylum in like 21 different countries.
Yeah,
and the U.S. was like pressuring other countries to not grant him asylum. Like so, like there were countries that originally granted it to him, and then like revoked it because the U.S. like pressured him.
So in just recently, he became a fully naturalized Russian citizen. Actually, did I use that word correctly?
Yeah, sure. Naturalized, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a Russian citizen. They finally granted him citizenship, but I think they're just trying to enlist him.
So there have been like the U.S. wants him. He's wanted, right? He's got indictments in the United States.
Yeah.
For I think espionage, right?
Yeah, the Espionage Act of 1917.
Yeah, so they could kill him.
Yeah, he could be like treason.
Yeah. So, he's applied for political asylum to 21 countries. Joe Biden pressured governments to refuse his asylum petitions. Biden even personally telephoned Rafael Carrera, asking Ecuador to not grant Snowden asylum because they initially offered him a travel document, but they withdrew it. And that has a lot to do with Biden's personal phone call. Ecuador, you will remember, they also gave asylum for a while to Assange. And Assange ended up helping Snowden out, and like offering financial assistance and things like that. But and then Assange, that whole thing fell apart.
Assange was in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think he was in Ecuador for a while, but then he moved to London, if I'm not mistaken.
But he couldn't even leave that place.
Yeah, he was just trapped in there.
Yeah, I mean that sucks. Imagine being trapped in the same building.
It's so cool though that if you're in an embassy, you're technically on that country's soil while you're inside. Like, it's a country inside of another country. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Weird. Just another weird Earth thing.
It is a weird Earth thing.
The diplomatic immunity is so... I mean, I get its purpose in protecting U.S. diplomats in other countries, but there's so many diplomats that just get away with murder, literally, because they have they're diplomats in the U.S. and they can, do whatever they want. They can park wherever they want. They can get out parking tickets. They can run red lights.
Yep.
And it's just they're diplomats. You can't do any legal proceedings against them.
So there are exceptions to that rule though, because you can't actually kill somebody if you're a diplomat and get away with it. There's ways that they can prosecute you for that.
Yeah. Actually, I just saw that on a Law and Order episode.
You do have diplomatic immunity. It's true.
I want to get diplomatic immunity.
My dad had diplomatic immunity for a while.
Whoa, where was he?
I've talked about how my grandfather worked in the State Department for a while.
Yeah.
And he was over in China for a long time. And and he was working out of Washington, D.C. for a while. So he had diplomat plates on his car. And so my dad was like, he looked like a real big hippie when he was in his 20s. He had like super long hair, long beard and shit. And he was driving around Washington, D.C. And then he would get pulled over sometimes by the cops and they would be like, "You're not a diplomat." And he'd be like, "Yes, I am." And they'd want to like give him a speeding ticket because he didn't look like a diplomat. He just looked
Yeah.
like a dirty hippie. So they'd see him speeding through DC, try to pull him over to give him a ticket, and then he'd be like, "No, I actually am a diplomat." And they'd like check out his car to see like, "Oh, this isn't really your car, is it?" Yeah. So diplomat plates sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
What would you do if you had diplomat plates?
Just parking. I'd
Yeah.
just park.
Just use it for parking?
Oh yeah, I'd park. Dude, parking's so tough
Yeah.
in the city.
It is. But I don't think you can kill somebody. I think that because there have been cases where a diplomat's son or daughter has killed
Yeah.
someone, and usually they try to ship them back out of the country as soon as
ASAP.
possible before the shit hits the fan. And you can get away with like, it's tougher to execute a search warrant on a diplomat, but you can.
Let's look it up.
But eventually you'll be able to push it through, I think.
Can diplomats get away with murder? Top-level ambassadors and their immediate deputies can commit crimes from littering to murder and remain immune from prosecution in U.S. courts. Whoa. They can. Whoa. Top-level ambassadors and their immediate deputies. Whoa. But I guess like lower level.
Mm-hmm.
At the lower levels, employees of foreign embassies are granted immunity only from acts related to their official duties. For example, they cannot be forced to testify in U.S. courts about the actions of their employers or their governments. Huh. The United States, as a diplomatic strategy of U.S. foreign policy, the United States tends to be friendlier or more generous in granting legal immunity to foreign diplomats due to the comparatively large number of U.S. diplomats serving in countries that tend to restrict the individual rights of their own citizens.
You know what? We're overdue for a big data leak soon. Like,
I'm okay with that.
No, think about it. 2010 to 2013, we had Chelsea Manning,
Yeah.
and we had Edward Snowden and Assange. That was a hot time to whistleblow on shit.
Why aren't we dumping more data?
We need
Dump them out.
We're overdue for a whistleblower.
Dump those datas out.
I do think at some point all of our browsing history is going to get leaked.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, right? Like, there's too many people that have now gotten their hands on it, and I'm almost 100% sure that we're going to be able to see what all you little creeps out there have been looking at online.
Dump those datas out.
So I guess my new
exposing my kinks will probably be the biggest thing.
yeah, the speech that I got from like my family of don't send any emails that you wouldn't want read aloud in court. Don't search for anything online that you wouldn't want read back to you in a court of law, or put out. Probably a better example would be to get leaked on Twitter.
You know what 100% is going to happen is that, so right now, the current president in 2036 or 2070, right, is probably on Snapchat right now, messing around. Like, it has very, they definitely took Snapchats of them doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And someone is definitely going to be able to access those, and they're definitely going to get leaked.
Snapchat's whole thing was like, don't worry about it. It disappears forever, right?
Yeah.
Is that true, or does Snapchat
No.
still have it?
Snapchat has an archive of every Snapchat
Yeah.
ever sent.
They do?
A
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
So I think
There's no way that shit's
that's
gone
probably
forever.
what gets leaked, right?
like when someone's like nudes get leaked or something, you mean?
No, I'm just saying like in the future,
Oh, in the future, yeah, 1,000%.
people Snapchat
Like some politician is definitely like, oh, look at this, this politician's smoking weed, or here's this video of this politician doing sexual acts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
no.
it's going to be used to blackmail.
Yeah, there's no way Snapchat has no record.
But
They have a record of how many times you've Snapchat. There's no way they aren't keeping the pictures you sent.
I mean, you know, it's probably going to be pretty because of that, it's probably everything's probably going to be normalized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As it should be.
I mean, there's going to be
there's nothing worse I hate than going to watching political debates and hearing some dirt they did 40 years ago. But I don't give a shit about that. Why should you?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's going to be like what Billy said, when presidents that are elected in 20 to 30 years, there is going to be another level of well, they were young kind of thing.
Yes.
I mean, again, I'm not saying that they can say offensive or do offensive things, but they smoked weed, or, they blacked out at a party and someone put that on their private Snapchat story. There's just going to be a level of, I think, normalcy brought to the presidency because all of their mistakes will be recorded. Or we're just going to get a ton of fucking nerds as presidents
Yeah.
that have never done anything fun.
Yeah, I think the bar for like having a clean past is going to continue to be lowered as we get further and further into the future.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing?
In a way, it is, because I think that some people, they like the real squeaky clean people are the ones that you have to watch out for sometimes. Like they try too hard to present a certain image.
But like, you don't want somebody that's of, you know, if we're talking about who should be the president, I think the president should be held to a far higher standard than a normal person.
Agreed.
Why?
Because you're the most important person in the world, and we should have someone of good character and values, and someone who is not doing things that normal people are doing. If you want to do those things, that's great. You shouldn't be president.
But why? Like correlate you having experienced an American life to understanding policies that can help people's lives. Like correlate those two.
I guess what I'm getting at is, for a long time, so for example, take George W. Bush, right? W. He partied his dick off when he was in college. After college, he was a big party guy, did a lot of coke, drank a lot. None of it was documented by his friends with like pictures saved and things like that. And he was eventually able to become president. I think you go back in Clinton's life, he partied a lot too. None of that was saved. He didn't have friends like taking pictures of him. Basically, every other president that we've ever had has partied a lot, has done things that if you had photographic evidence of would potentially disqualify you from office. It's not that people are doing worse things. It's just there's a mode of capturing all the worst parts of people's lives and then resurfacing them later. So I don't think people are getting worse. I don't think that there's no such thing as like a perfect person that hasn't done anything. That if there was a camera running on you every single second for every single day of your life, it would capture things that would disqualify anybody from being president.
Well,
So
the
when
two
I'm
people you just
president-
named, one of them you think was a terrible president who killed a lot of people unnecessarily. The other one had a moral scandal while he was in office. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Any president, though. It could be anybody.
That had nothing to do with how his policies. Right?
Yeah. If you take...
That's what I was saying. That's like correlate the two. You having an American life experience and your policy making decision.
I don't think they necessarily are or need to be correlated.
What about this big T?
That's my point. My point is
they're separate issues.
Maybe if you were to look at all the presidents, maybe
that's my point.
Maybe the one that...
But no. I want to address him. I am saying the person who is the leader of the free world should be of like upright character. That now you can find people
That's
with
subjective though.
You can find good and bad people who you think have good ideas.
So what leads you to believe that quote unquote upright character? Well, who's the arbiter of what upright character is?
I mean,
Some of
it's
the
obviously a
best
very
people I know-
subjective thing.
That's what I'm-
Okay, so
what I'm
what?
saying, some of the best, most honorable, loyal people I know are like reformed gangbangers. You know what I'm saying? Like, or reformed, like, or people who have done like crazy shit in their past that was like a big stepping stone in towards them being a very good human being.
I am not saying you can never have done something bad in your life. I'm just saying if the conversation was someone who has all, Snapchats of them, this, that, and the other, like maybe if it's between that and someone who hasn't, this was for 4 years. This is all we heard about with Trump. What a terrible person he is. What bad character he has. That was a big knock on him.
Yeah.
And he continues to display that.
What do you?
So well, you just said that shouldn't matter.
No, I said that something from your past shouldn't disqualify you. If you're acting like a dick to people today as a 70-year-old man, you're probably just a dick.
That's true. I don't think that. I think the person who is in charge of the free world should be like a pretty good person. Not that like good and bad people can't have ideas that you think are great or bad.
What do you?
It's just such a subjective term.
And you know what? I wanna change what I've said. I don't even think you need to be like a great person. Just like not someone who has trails of, being blacked out at parties and shit like that. Like I think you should probably not be president if you have all that in the future.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Wait.
Here's the thing, though.
You don't think if you black out at parties, you shouldn't be president?
Yeah, I think that.
What? No.
Okay, here's the thing. The best person from a morality standpoint, the person that you're describing, Big T, that has been president that I can think of right now is Jimmy Carter. And you would think like he's not a great president.
Great person.
Great person.
Had some bad plans.
Yeah,
Great peanuts.
So I guess that just points to the fact that if you're a moral person does not necessarily mean a great president.
That's correct.
So I don't know why
it doesn't necessarily disqualify you from being a good president either.
But at your drunkest, Big T, if somebody had a camera on you, took a picture of you, and then they'd use that to point out and be like, look, this person is of low moral standing. Look at this guy. We have this evidence. Like anybody at their worst would appear to be someone who shouldn't be president.
Sure, but it seems like in this scenario we're describing, it wouldn't be one thing.
Maybe not, but who knows? I just think that the bar is going to get lowered as to like what's acceptable, or maybe it just becomes.
That's what I was speaking
maybe it
to.
just
I think
becomes nobody can be president.
Well, that's what I was speaking to. I feel like I shouldn't say you should have to be this incredible person, though I do think it's better to have someone, that's better than worse. But anyway, like you say, the bar gets lowered. I don't think we should lower the bar for the president. That was my main point.
Okay.
The president should be held to a much higher standard than normal people.
Okay.
But what if, but
It's
like
the president.
But it doesn't. What if like the best president for this country, like the best president for this country, is someone who like has one of these videos, but it is de facto the best guy?
I'm saying the bar for the president should be much higher.
I disagree.
Yeah. I think the bar for podcasters should be much higher.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. They give anybody a platform these days.
Podcasters shouldn't have any bad things in their past.
There's a trend going around that's saying like white men should not be able to have microphones anymore.
Hey, you come and take them. Come and
take our mics.
Come and take them. The right to bear mics
over my dead body.
I'm upholding white men having podcasts.
You are your sellout, man.
I am a sellout.
When they came for the
anything
jewel,
for a check.
When they came for the jewel, I said nothing.
when they come for my microphone.
When they came for But when they came for my mic, I couldn't say anything.
It's true. Billy gets deplatformed.
Oh,
It'd be so easy to deplatform Billy.
How?
I just take your computer. That's it. I would just take your computer and your phone. I'd wait till you go take a shit, and then I'd steal your stuff.
Then I imagine if I started like blogging, tweeting, and podcasting from like a library, from the New York Public Library.
Yeah, pirate radio back in the day.
Hi, I'm live from the library. I gotta stay quiet, or they're gonna kick me out.
You should have a permit to podcast. There should be it's like driver's license test. There should be a minimum.
Yeah, you should have
minimum
to pass this
requirement. Like, don't be a complete dumbass. Who do you think would fail a podcasting license test right now?
Well, what do you think?
Me.
Like, I think there's really only one.
What would you need to do?
Ad reads for Blue Chew or for Hims.
Roman.
Yeah.
Dude wipes. Talk to me about dude wipes.
So it's just ad reads?
Just talk to me about cleaning yourself after a shit.
Well, you know what? You know what we could talk to you about? Like a really good ad read, you have to really let it flow. Like, you know what's a myth?
What?
That creatine's a steroid. Fact. Creatine is a natural molecule that your body produces and presents in its various foods because your body needs more than it makes. Creatine isn't just used to bulk up. It actually can help you put on lean mass and maintain muscle. And you know what? The best creatine that I like to take is Concrete. Concrete, I take it every day. Dump it in some water, chug it. It helps with your pumps. I think that it's definitely better than any of the leading creatines out there. It is creatine HCl, which is much different than creatine monohydrate. That's the one that kind of requires all the water. It's hard on your digestive system, but definitely try Concrete. It's honestly the best creatine I've ever done. Take control of your health, both body and mind. Build a better you with Concrete. Register now at concrete.com-podcast. That's CON-CRET.com/podcast. Receive free membership to Planet Fitness for an entire year, plus a $500 Walmart Visa gift card. Available now online and in-store at Walmart. Concrete is truly life-changing and performance-enhancing. So yeah, if you do an ad read like that, that you really need to hit the hard stuff, come in with the personal, stamp of approval, and know how to read the call to action at the end. That's all the main points of an ad. You got to be able to nail a read.
I think everybody should have a podcast.
I've
changed my mind. I don't think that we should gatekeep podcasts at all. I don't think there should be a barrier to entry. I think the United States government should pay for everybody to get a microphone once they turn 15. And then it's a mandatory podcast that everyone has to do every day.
Well, technically, we all do have podcasts.
I was
it's just the
gonna
only
say
people
that.
who can hear them are the people close to you.
Every conversation
shit.
is a podcast that isn't being recorded.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
everyone
fucking
kind
wild.
of does have a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But imagine if you had a mandatory podcast that you had to do. Everyone.
We'd all be making bank.
But think about it. It's sometimes I think about that in terms of musicians. The greatest musicians in world history might be living right now.
Aren't famous.
But they just, no, it's not that they're not famous. It's that they've never had the instrument that they could excel at. There are prodigies out there. Walking down the street, maybe that guy across the road, that guy might be the world's best oboe player, but nobody will ever put an oboe in his hand.
I could be a really good gazebo player, but I've never played a gazebo.
I don't think a gazebo is an instrument.
Do you know what a gazebo is?
I know what a gazebo is.
No, I need to hear you tell me.
More
What is it?
I know
What's a gazebo?
A gazebo is outdoor open air shelter type
Did
thing.
you say that?
Because gazebo, I wanted to do a mythical oboe type weird instrument that I just no one ever would have but I couldn't think of gazebo could be an instrument.
What about an accordion player? Who knows? Avery might be a rock star on the recording.
That would be
Hot
hilarious.
take. Worst instrument.
The accordion?
I think
That's
it's
the
pretty
worst
fire.
instrument.
I actually was at a concert last night where an accordion was.
I bet.
You were in the same room
Shit,
as
Actually, no,
So,
I don't think there was an accordion.
I don't like the way it sounds. It's just
Low key,
it's
you know what?
goofy looking.
You know what it is? The accordion kind of is the accordion's low key racist.
Okay.
I just imagine the accordion being a racist instrument.
Okay.
I'm listening.
It gives off that vibe.
Polka? You think polka music's racist?
Who knows? It's just
Who knows?
when you see those memes where it's I don't know, but this just seems racist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
PFT could say the same theory about the instruments as athletes though, where it's I could be an amazing curler.
Yeah, it would have to be a sport like that though.
A niche.
Yeah,
sport.
a niche sport. Some people.
Hold on. You just downplay Maddie's athleticism.
No.
That's what I heard.
But most kids are put into. Yes.
kind of.
Yes.
But you know what I'm saying? I can look at Mad Dog right now and be like, you're not the best basketball player to ever exist.
Pretty much.
Just like somebody could look at me and be like, yeah, you would get your shit swatted into the 20th row.
Right. No one's looking at me and thinking me and Myles Garrett have the same level of athletic ability. I couldn't be a DN, but a niche sport or skeleton, the one where you're in the
luge, but going head first.
you don't know.
I do think about that though. So that's the thing with the mandatory podcast. We'd find out there's some fucking bangers out there. There's some funny people that just have never had a microphone and a platform.
But not everyone would get a platform. Then the market would be so much more oversaturated than it is now.
Yeah, well, just a little bit. Pretty much everyone has a podcast right now. But get to a place where everyone who wants a podcast has a podcast, and then see where it goes from there.
Every time you're drunk and you have we could have a podcast. We're funny. Then
Yeah,
a microphone
boom.
appears at your door the next morning.
Yep, absolutely.
I hate that idea.
You think there are too many podcasts?
No, I hate the idea. I mean, there are a lot of podcasts. Honestly, I don't listen to podcasts, ironically enough.
You don't at all?
No, I would like listen to like YouTube debates or like what they call video essays. Like I would much rather listen to that. But I get the appeal for sure. It's just never been my thing.
Does anyone ever actually win those YouTube debates?
No. But so what I like to do is like I love to hear both sides. That sounds so centrist, but it's the truth. I like to hear both sides of a story just to see which, because usually it's like two sides. Like let's say it's an atheist versus a Christian, right? Or it's early like YouTube debates. Like I like to see like who's heralded amongst the Christian, diaspora, and then also and vice versa. I just kind of see the thought process and what they. How they come to their conclusions is what I'm more interested in.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating.
I think it exercises some muscles in your brain that you don't normally use, critical thinking skills, things like that.
Yeah, but I don't listen to like debunk anybody. I listen to like really, like listen to like both sides to see what they're talking about.
Got it. So Billy, where is Edward Snowden right now?
He's in Russia, and he's had 2 kids.
Oh, in Russia?
Yeah.
With who?
He got married to a woman in Russia. I think it's actually Lindsay Mills.
So I'm guessing he has not spoken out against Putin.
Yeah. He might actually now that he's a citizen, he might get enlisted. Like actually.
That would be
They don't have an age limit?
No, they're taking 40-year-olds right now. I saw this video. There's actually
gonna be weak as shit.
There's huge riots in Dagestan because Russia has a bad their birth rate's so low that they're sort of satellite type states like Dagestan, Georgia, some of the other regions that aren't made up of like ethnic Russians, but a lot of the Caucasus Muslim populations. That's who's fighting the wars, and they're sort of figuring out like, hey, wait a second, like we don't really have skin in this game. Like why, even though we're conquered by Russia, like why are we letting Moscow just take our sons? But
so, I'm looking at now this is on his Wikipedia page, but the person that runs the Electronic Frontier Foundation and the Tor Project said that Snowden was an active poster on their forum for 11 years. So he was a message board guy. And you know what his name was? Snowden's screen name or his message board name was The True Hoo-Ha.
Hoo-Ha.
D-A True?
No, T-H-E. The True
Oh, I was like, that's
Hoo-Ha.
so fucking funny.
What is Hoo-Ha?
I'm sure it's
is that vagina?
Yeah, I
It's
think
a
that means
vagina.
vagina.
It's a vagina.
It's a vagina.
He's the true hoo-ha.
Hold on, a hoo-ha is a vagina?
Yeah.
No, wait.
Yes.
Look it up, Billy. Google vagina.
I've heard
and
that
see if
before.
hoo-ha
Like
comes up.
old Southern women who refuse to say that word.
Yeah.
That's who I envision.
Old Southern, my hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Have you like?
Connor, my hoo-ha's itchy.
Oh, never never say that again.
That's the. I don't think that's the term he used. It's when you look it up, the actual definition. It's a state or condition of excitement, agitation, or disturbance, commotion, uproar.
Oh, I know
So
of it
he's-
as I know of it as lady parts.
That's like brouhaha. I think.
No, it's
like a
I'm
fight.
looking at it. It's hoo-ha. HOO-HA. Hoo-ha.
So he's married to Lindsay Mills, who's an American acrobat and blogger.
Acrobat.
Yeah.
That's a dying profession.
I want to check out Lindsay Mills' acrobatics.
Well, yeah. What is she acrobat on?
Let's check out.
She a trapeze person?
Oh, she.
What, Billy?
I don't know.
Say it.
There's a lot of pictures of her posing.
Okay. So what do you mean by that?
I don't have a take.
Yes, you do.
I don't have a take. I officially don't have a take.
I don't have a take. A lot of weirdly scandalous photos.
I think they're just normal photos for an acrobat that Billy
Yeah.
is.
No, I'm just.
What's her name? Lindsay Mills.
Lindsay Mills.
I think it's probably a lot of just like a woman and her body, and Billy's like, whoa.
No, it's just like
When is she trying to show us here?
Well, the thing is, she's posing in not too much clothes, but it's very acrobatic. That it's like, what? It's strange.
She's like a acrobatic model, basically. It's not that revealing, Billy. It's just a body, man. It's okay.
I know. You guys told me to Google her. Anyway.
Okay, no, I'm looking. There's some revealing ones. I think she's just a model trying to be sexy.
It's just like, it's weird seeing someone in lingerie doing a handstand. That's
gross.
weird, right?
Gross. I'm gonna look it up. Where can I find it? Lindsay Mills handstand. This is just for research purposes.
Did you see the one where she's like coming out of a box?
Huh?
Yeah, it's just weird. Like,
yeah, it's different.
It's not
whatever.
It's like, I wasn't like, it's just weird acrobatic shit.
I know. Honestly, I think, yeah, there's the one of her getting out of a box. Yeah, it's pretty normal stuff, Billy. Why are you freaking out about
I'm
this?
not freaking out about it. I was just puzzled.
You're
by
scared
it.
of her.
I'm not scared.
You are scared of her. So he got married. They live in Russia right now, and I wonder if we're even trying to get him. We probably want him back, right? We're still actively trying to get him back.
They're probably gonna kill him.
I can't imagine if we've been actively trying for 10 years that we wouldn't have him.
But who comes home first, Snowden or Brittany Griner?
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, I think Brittany.
Did you see Francis's blog?
I did not.
It was about Brittany Griner's fault that she hasn't escaped yet.
Okay.
It's just a ridiculous take.
It sounds like he was probably joking.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Billy's verbal blog recap.
What is this big ass check y'all sitting in front of?
That's Billy.
Oh yeah, shout out Billy's List for getting me number 3 in Merch Palooza. Honestly, we're thankful that we beat Hank, who created the contest, so he could win it himself. Mm-hmm. So that's a big deal. Kate, she got a stripper to come on the yak, and the stripper got her to number 1, where she sat all week.
It sounds like you were downplaying.
Very, very odd.
Yeah.
Accumulation of words that out of context make no fucking sense. So
yeah,
I was gonna pretend like I understand what you're talking about and move on.
I think I'm gonna donate. It.
All of it?
Yeah.
How much is it? All this is Barstool Sports, and then Billy. I can't see the.
All these guys, it's $2K, which is probably gonna get taxed pretty heavily. I don't know what, because I basically did it because we had to. Like, it was part of our jobs to compete in Merch Palooza, and everyone did get me to this level and bought a ton of stuff. So I want to do something for everyone who so that they get something out of it.
So the people that bought the stuff, you want to give something back to them?
Yeah, but probably in the ways of content, because that's the easiest way to distribute it to all of them.
Okay, so what's that going to be?
I think I'm going to buy a tiger cub.
All right, so this went pretty quickly to like give to charity to now Billy's just going to buy a fucking wild animal and claim that this is for charity.
Well, it's
I thought that was illegal in New York.
I know it is. I'm just
Billy lives in New Jersey.
I was thinking of something ridiculous.
You should get a tiger cub.
Yeah, I live in I actually don't want to tell people where I live.
Okay, he lives in some mysterious New Jersey city that starts with the letters H-O, and also the same city that Billy has publicly said that he lives in probably 5 dozen times before.
I get paranoid.
Let's see if anyone can guess where it is.
First, good luck cracking that case, Sherlock.
Billy, why don't you do a thing where you want to give away, right? Somebody on Billy's list?
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't want to give away.
Oh, okay.
I don't have enough money to pay everybody who helped.
So just do a raffle. Have like a contest, of some sort, and then the winner gets the winnings.
Here's what we do. Everybody that retweets Billy's posting of macrodosing tomorrow, we're gonna select one person from that list. Since Billy wants to give back so badly, that one person will receive Billy's prize money. How's that sound?
All
Billy?
the money?
You said
okay.
You said you wanted to give back.
Let me think.
Okay, Billy's gonna.
Okay, if you send me, I'm gonna put up a Google application, and you're gonna have to subscribe to Macrodosing YouTube, What are all the socials?
Subscribe to the pod.
To the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the Instagram. Subscribe to the
Follow
Twitter.
us on everything.
You need to follow every single social, TikTok.
Yep.
And with that receipt of you following everything,
And you also have to be blocked by Big T.
you don't have to be blocked by Big T.
I think that adds a nice wrinkle.
You have to follow. You have to follow Big T as well, and Avery and Mad Dog. You don't have to follow PFT because he's almost at 1 million, and I don't want it to surge and him miss his 1 million. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like there's too many requirements. If you subscribe to
No,
our
you
if you
gotta
subscribe
subscribe
to
to
our
everything.
YouTube, if you subscribe to our YouTube,
Yeah, we're at
Billy will give
24.9.
you all the
And
money.
no, you guys. I'm gonna put out a Google application.
Oh my god.
You have to submit all the pictures, do all that, and you will win $1,000.
Wow. You're giving away 1,000, Billy.
That's probably as much she's gonna get.
Well, I thought you were
in
telling me to
tax.
give away
Incredible.
all of it.
No, I mean, it's up to you. I was just making a suggestion, but you really ran with it.
Yeah, so you gotta do that. I'm gonna put out the application. You need a screenshot. Make it easy for me. Make a collage with all the screenshots.
Make
and
it easy
send
for
it to
Billy.
me.
You're getting $1,000
All right, so you got to subscribe to everything, and then also go into Photoshop and make a collage for Billy.
But your 1,000 will be taxed at 50% from Big T. I am acting as the government in this situation. I get 50% of that for no reason whatsoever other than I want it.
Just to teach you a lesson.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we're giving away $1,000. But you gotta do all those things.
Yeah, we're at 24.9. So even if you don't want to do all
I have
that,
a-
subscribe to the YouTube.
I have a better way of
Well,
of doing this.
Oh,
If the
now-
YouTube
now I've
gets
lost
if the
steam.
YouTube gets 30K subscribers, we'll give away $1,000 to someone who subscribed and followed to everything that we have.
So then you get to keep the money for a little bit, Billy. Just
that's pretty much what Billy's saying right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
It'll get up to 30,000. So Billy, we'll do it Billy's way, but Billy's way only gets unlocked if we hit 30,000 subscribers.
Got it.
How about
Yeah.
that? All right, so Billy, I'm very excited. That's very nice of you to offer.
But I
that.
need.
How are you determining who the winner is going to be?
I have no idea.
we can do a randomizer.
Yeah, randomize it.
How else do you want to do it?
Just include a.
Picture of
just-
yourself?
I'll tell you what we'll do.
Just include a random picture, and whoever has like the most brain tickling picture will win. Just like something cool or whatever.
Billy will choose it at random. I will oversee the choosing, and it will be good, and it will be
Okay.
just.
Hopefully, they classify it as a gift upstairs. I'm such an idiot. Why am I giving away $1,000?
I don't know.
You said it. It's out in the ether now.
Well, I feel like I owe. Whatever.
Yeah, you know,
We'll figure it out.
You said that you want to give back to Billy's list. I think it's a very nice thing. But you said it, and it's gonna be tough to take it back now, Billy. You really talked
Hey,
yourself
Bill,
into
hey,
this one.
hey, it ain't. I'll vouch for Billy here. If you don't want to give away your money, bro, don't get that shit away. It's not too late to renege.
Billy,
500.
okay, 500.
500.
Which means you're getting 250 because half of it goes to me.
Billy will give away 500 of the dollars.
Forgot about our big T tax.
Big tax.
Yeah, big tax.
Listen, if I'm paying it, these people need to learn.
Fact.
This is. Why am I doing this?
All right, Billy, you got it.
Okay.
Do we want to do any voicemails right now?
So what I do just want to go around real quick and get is anyone anti Snowden?
No, I think what he did was necessary.
Big
and
tech,
I think
probably.
there should be more
Yeah, who
like him.
is anti-Snowden? Like
Yeah,
in
that's
the
a good
general
question.
population.
I mean, some people.
I didn't know who he was before this week. I'm going to be real with everyone. So I'm still getting my hands around it. But it sounds like he's not a criminal.
Well, technically is.
He technically
Well,
is it kind of like Robin
technically
Hood?
under the law, he is.
He stole information, and it was classified.
It's part what they're accusing of Trump right now, that he took classified government documents, and a larger charge, which they're not accusing Trump of, is that he distributed them, and I think there's one more, but yeah, he's definitely a criminal under the law, but sometimes the spirit of the law supersedes the letter of the law, in my opinion.
Like in the court of public opinion.
Yep.
I think the majority of people don't think he's a criminal. I think the majority of people think that what he did was extremely necessary and opened up a can of worms. peek behind the curtain of what the government is doing in their surveillance.
Okay.
I'd say a necessary criminal.
Got it.
He broke the law. I don't agree with him on everything, but I think it was necessary for us to be an informed public.
Mm-hmm.
What do you not agree with him about?
There's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with how he sent everything out. I don't agree. There was a lot of stuff that got caught up that had nothing to do with like the PRISM situation that he sent. He just did like a massive data dump. I also think that he strikes me as a guy who thinks that he is the protagonist of the world. And so he saw this as an opportunity for him to be like, okay, I get to make my change and my imprint on the world. I think it was a little bit self-serving. Just a little bit. But it's fine. You can do great things and be self-serving at the same time.
I mean, knowing what was at stake and knowing his freedom was going to get revoked from the United States, you don't think he had to develop a little bit of a woe is me?
Yeah, I mean, probably a martyr complex went along with that, for sure. And I mean, he did put himself in danger, so... but also now he is a citizen of a country that has, more ruthless espionage capabilities and techniques than we have right now.
Yeah. He fled to a hell of a country.
But I understand at the same time, like from a pragmatic standpoint, he's got to live somewhere, and he doesn't want to be shipped back to the United States because then he's going to go to jail probably for the rest of his life. So I get that from both sides, but I don't think he's not like he did something that I think I consider to be patriotic, but for certain reasons that aren't 100% altruistic.
All right. I see that.
Billy? Patriot or criminal?
Patriot. Patriot, but yeah, no, he's a patriot.
Can I ask a question?
What?
Does he have anything to do with net neutrality? Remember that?
No.
Okay. Those are different. Remember that though?
I do remember that.
Okay. I just feel like I could have rung a bell on both of those, but never mind. Should I still care about net neutrality?
No. Yeah, I think in general you should, but it wasn't the big like internet apocalypse that
I thought
they were trying to make it. Yeah.
Ajit Pai.
Basically, net neutrality is a good principle to follow. You don't want big internet companies and service providers to be able to charge you more for their internet. So like Netflix.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Like
that's what it was.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes in terms of like routing bandwidth and things like that. But it was not. We were told back in like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, I remember that being like a huge deal.
Yeah, that if that bill passed, we were like all fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, that was dumb. All right. Want to do voicemails?
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, these voicemails are brought to you, Billy. Do you know who they're brought to you by? Ridge Wallet. I've been carrying around my Ridge Wallet recently. This is actually a good sponsor for this episode. If you want the government not to take your information, better have a Ridge Wallet.
Amen.
Better have a Ridge Wallet. I've been using my Ridge Wallet recently. It's actually been great because I've got one of those things that attaches to the back of my phone right here where I put a couple cards in there. Those are my cards that I use like multiple times over the course of a day. Now I've got my Ridge Wallet that I also have, and I put the rest of my cards in there, the stuff that I have to break out, on occasion. I've got my money in there. It's fantastic. It's super easy to use, and it protects you. Protects you against RFID technology. That's right. No one can scan your stuff if it's in a Ridge Wallet. It secures anywhere between up to 12 cards and room for cash. There are over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. And it does have that RFID blocking technology that protects you from digital pickpocketers. Secures anywhere from 2 to 6 keys as well on the key case. It organizes your keys in a complete silhouette and fold out for easy access. The key case is incredible. It's very stylish too. Great place to keep your keys. Check out their site and use the code MACRO for 10% off your order. With every dollar spent on the website before September 30th, you will be entered to win a brand new Ford Bronco, an upgraded Ford Bronco, or $75,000 if you want the cash. How about that? So today, September 29th, it's your last day, your last full day. You'll have some time tomorrow, but this week, it's the last chance that you have to be entered to win a brand new upgraded Ford Bronco or $75,000 cash. Just go to their website, go to Ridge Wallet, and use the code MACRO to get 10% off your order. How about that? Macro gets you 10% off your order. Now some voicemails.
Lane from New Hampshire, and hey guys, Lane from New Hampshire, and I was just wondering what's a conspiracy theory y'all like. What's the most fringe conspiracy theory you actually believe in, or like would fight for? I feel like a lot of the time you guys just disprove conspiracy theories, which most of them are pretty disprovable. But what's one that you actually like really truly believe and other people might not? So stay gorgeous and all that, and keep it up.
Can't remember if we've answered this already.
I think we have, because I think mine was that we invented flight. Like humans have invented flight before just 100 years ago. I don't know if that's a conspiracy or whatever, but I think
I missed the question. He was hella. I felt like Charlie Brown. He was hella mumbled.
What's a conspiracy theory that you actually believe in
Wasn't
that other
that-
people don't?
Wasn't that ancient conspiracies that we were doing?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Well, technically, as of right now, the U.S. blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline is kind of a conspiracy.
Yeah, Billy's on that.
But like, I 100% think we definitely did it.
Also, I think that Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone in killing JFK.
You know what theory I saw recently that I hadn't looked into? The storm drain. There was a guy, like, it.
Oh, and the storm drain?
Yeah, there was a guy, like, creeping, like, poking out and shot him from the storm drain. And that's how they escaped, through the storm drain.
Interesting.
And popped out somewhere else.
I think it was the CIA had a hand in it. The CIA, now I don't know who they teamed up with. It could have been the CIA teaming up with the mafia. Could have been the CIA teaming up with Cubans or Russians.
Huh? How would the CIA team up with Russians or Cubans
to kill JFK? There's a big there's a big conspiracy out there that he teamed up with Cubans. That they teamed up with Cubans or Cuban exiles in the United States, because JFK had gone after Cuba in the Bay of Pigs, and so they wanted him dead. I don't think it's that far out there.
I got one. I think that ayahuasca is like a gateway to what actually happens when we die.
Yeah. The DMT release in your brain at death is the same to doing DMT.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Yeah, because I think what's actually happening is we're experiencing life through this small lens of the electromagnetic spectrum. We're allowed to view it, but there's so much more going on that our senses can't comprehend, that when you die, you kind of return to that and you're able to experience it more. Maybe.
You know what I thought about that? You know how like if doing drugs, there's technically usually a feedback loop. So like, for example, if you do testosterone, there's a feedback loop and your body stops producing its own testosterone. Or like if you do, other like Molly, you have like a depletion of dopamine the next day. What if doing DMT gives you that near when you die type experience, but your body stops producing its own DMT if you do too much DMT, and then when you die, you get none of that.
It really
natural
sucks.
DMT, and you like don't go and you don't go to heaven in that like ethereal transition because you have no DMT.
It's almost like the DMT is the fuel on a rocket ship that would take you to heaven into the afterlife, and if you use all it up,
That's not the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Not that it's fuel, but
Like your body put it there for a reason, right?
yeah.
Yeah. But then like you're dying, you're like, I did too much DMT. Give me a ton of DMT right now.
Yeah, you have to smoke it as you're dying.
Smoke it. Yeah, I'm about to die.
Like it makes it a way more painful experience.
Yeah.
I need DMT.
I
I
think
want to
I'm
go out on a drug I've never tried before. Like if I had to pick, like I want to die like on some shit I've never done. Like not OD, but just like I'm about to die. I know I'm about to die, so I'm like, let's just do a bunch of heroin.
yeah,
Yeah. I've said that for a while. Like maybe even when I turn 99 years old, just load me up, man.
start smoking opium.
Let me smoke opium and let me just be in a dream sequence for the rest of my life until I pass away.
I'll be cool with that. Yeah.
Well, you probably will be because they'll give you morphine for whatever's killing you. Hopefully.
Thanks, Billy.
Well, I mean,
You'll be really sick for a while.
in like the deathbed, I'm not wishing that upon you, but like in the deathbed scenario where you would be able to do a drug.
Yeah, just load me up hit me with the opium. I want the old school shit. I want to smoke opium.
I want the shit that like
No one talks about smoking opium anymore. It's always fentanyl this, heroin that.
my buddy smoked opium in Thailand.
Was it cool?
Yeah, but his like it claws into you. Like he had a hard time getting out of that hut.
Yeah.
He was just like I think he was literally there for 2 days.
Yeah. And then
And
people
you-
steal your shit.
Yeah, and like my other buddy who didn't do it like had to like get him out of there
Yeah.
because once you start hitting that pipe, you're just in a opium den.
Yeah, I would like to go on an opium vacation. That would be cool.
You know what?
I actually don't want to do that because you get addicted. It's a very addictive
It would be
thing.
really fun. Like if you do it, you need to have someone to pull you out.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to go do opium, I'd go in and get you.
I've got I had an idea. I don't know if I said it on this podcast or not. I think maybe I did say it on Tuesday. Just like to get people off of heroin or meth or fentanyl or whatever, just put them in a room with a shitload of weed and delicious snacks and all the good drinks that they want to have, and just lock them in a room while they're coming down from heroin. Just like have them stay high for an extended period of time and make them as comfortable as possible. That to me sounds like a pretty good rehab facility.
Like almost like sedating them.
Yeah,
with
it's almost
weed.
like sedating, but like you're kind of numbing your brain to it a little bit.
You know what's
I
crazy?
wonder if that would work.
That you can die from alcohol withdrawals, but not opioid withdrawals.
But you can feel like you're going to die from
Yeah.
opiate withdrawals.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the things that you can die from are alcohol and I think benzos.
yeah,
I think you can die from benzo withdrawals too, which are like a lot of anxiety medications. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Xanax, Klonopin, lorazepam, maybe. I don't know if that last one is, but I do know that like Klonopin, Xanax, if you're actually addicted to it and you quit cold turkey, you can have a seizure and you can die from it.
yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Damn.
All right, we got any more?
Yep.
Hey, Macrodosing crew, this is Austin from Wisconsin. I was wondering if you guys were making a macrodosing themed deck of cards and you had to assign a person to Jack, to Ace, and the Joker, who would you assign each person to? I'm curious to see your guys' thoughts. I have my answers. I was just wondering what you guys were thinking. As always, stay handsome, stay beautiful, and I'm pretty sure Big T's underwear is definitely navy blue today.
Ooh,
We haven't done that. in a long
Damn,
time.
remember that?
yeah. Arian, do you have a
gotta-
guess?
You got to spit back what he's talking about.
Do you have a guess on Big T's underwear, Arian?
Probably blue.
It's gray.
There's no navy blue on it?
No, it's all gray.
That's why we stopped, because I started just sucking at it.
Yeah,
So
I think I got like the first two right.
we were on a roll for a
Roll.
while.
The question was, name in a deck of cards what everybody in this room right now, what their personality or their role on the podcast, what that would correspond to in a deck of cards.
like for the face cards.
Yeah. Or it could be a 2. He said 2 through ace, right?
No, he said Jack through Ace.
Jack,
Oh,
and
Jack
Joker.
through Ace?
Jack, Ace, Joker.
Oh, Joker. Okay.
So,
Jack, Queen, King, Ace, Joker.
I think Billy's Joker.
Yeah.
Because he's a wild card.
Joker?
You're a wild card. Think
Obviously.
about it that way. You're a wild card, Bill.
It doesn't mean jester. I mean, in spades, you the top dog. You know what I mean?
Bill, yeah, because you can be any from one moment to the next. You got range. It's a compliment.
So then Big T's the jack.
I was gonna say Big T's a 10.
Oh, I was gonna see Big T's ace.
It's Big 10, right?
Yeah.
10 isn't even one of the things he said.
But I'm giving you your Big 10.
Okay.
Your Big Tennessee.
I was gonna say Big T's ace because he's either really high or really low.
Oh, that's good too. Yeah, I like that one.
What does that mean?
Like-
Really high or really low?
Like you're either your energy's like way up, like it is what it was at the Tennessee game.
No, I actually think I'm a very even-keeled person. I think my energy is the same most of the time.
But when you're in Tennessee, you got amped up.
Correct, but that's an outlier.
I think that your energy is different though. I think it's if you're really amped up about something, you're really amped up about it. And if you don't care about something, you know that you don't care about it. I'm not saying that you're inconsistent as a person.
That's being consistent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
okay. I don't care what card I am. So
okay, there you go. There you go. There's that negative energy.
Yeah.
That's not negative.
Now we have Jack,
Queen,
Queen, and King. I mean, Mad Dog is the Queen.
Thank you guys.
And then me and Avery, Jack and King.
And then Arian has to be something. I think you two can both be king.
So we do need a 10.
Okay. Or we can just have two of someone.
Okay. I think, you know what?
I think you and Arian are the kings.
I think we're all kings.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all kings, except for Mad Dog. She's a queen.
Yeah.
And Big T is an ace. And Billy's a jack. Or Joker, I mean.
Okay, now they're saying Russia blew up the pipe.
But that's not what your research indicated.
No.
Why would Russia do that?
To prove madman theory. So that we're more wary of Russia using a nuke.
So it's just Putin being like, dude, I'm fucking loco.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with me. I'll destroy my country's lifeline.
Yeah.
I'll kill everybody in this motherfucker, including me.
I mean, if you have that much power and you're dying, yeah, they said that it was a madman theory moved by Putin. That's what the U.S. is saying.
Wasn't there a movie where some dude like took a bunch of people, including his own family, hostage? Oh, I think it was in Usual Suspects, actually. I think when they figure out who Kobayashi really is, the true story of Kobayashi comes out that like he shot his own like family member to prove that he was so crazy that he didn't give a fuck. That's what Putin did, according to Billy's most recent research, which has been thoroughly vetted, right?
Yeah, but that's a theory. So I don't want if it comes out that Russia did it.
Okay.
All right, we got one more. Want to do one more?
Okay.
Yo, what's up? This is Alex calling from beautiful Knoxville, Tennessee, on the eve of the Tennessee-Florida game. As a Tennessee fan, fuck Florida until the day I die. Just wanted to get that off my chest.
And all God's people said amen.
Everybody stay beautiful and handsome and whatnot. Who knows? Maybe I'll see you in Market Square. Maybe you'll be like, hee hee ha ha, this man is so funny. Let's invite him on the podcast. But, I digress. Anyway, my question. Who do you guys think would be more insufferable as a parent? Donald Trump is Barron Trump somehow got to the NBA, or LeVar Ball at his peak? All right, thanks, guys.
I think LeVar Ball is president.
Oh,
like
God.
Switch him up. LeVar Ball becomes president of the United States.
No, I think it's LeVar because I think Trump just doesn't care about Barron all that much. He cares about Don Jr. and Ivanka.
I don't even really
the rest of his kids.
I don't even think he cares about Don Jr. that much. Because Don Jr.
cares about him.
Oh
a
yeah,
whole
Don
lot.
Jr. is always like, "Hey, Dad, it's my birthday."
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was Eric. I thought Eric is the one that he doesn't like or care about.
Eric he doesn't like, but Don Jr. is like more involved. Don Jr. is the Kendall Roy of
Yeah, I think Don Jr.
family.
on January 6th when he was giving that speech, he was like making a big deal out of how it was his birthday or like his birthday weekend.
No way.
Yeah, and then Don just doesn't care. He's like, okay, great.
There's a story that when Don Jr. was at UPenn, that he was just getting hammered all the time and like was just a drunk, and his father came one day and knocked him out in the doorway of his dorm because he was hammered and he was pissed at him.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Wonder if
That's
it's
something that's been in magazines and then has been going around UPenn for years.
true. Wow. I've not heard that. That's the first I've heard.
Yeah.
But I think I think Big T might be right. I don't think he cares that much about Barron. I think he'd like show up to the games like if he was in the NBA Finals, and he'd be like, "Yeah, that's my team." But I don't think he cares that deeply.
Imagine Donald Trump like shooting a basketball. I'm just imagining him throwing the paper towels.
He's one of the best of all time. Ask Nick Adams.
Pretty athletic, man. He dropped a hole in one not too long ago.
Did he another one? Oh yeah, that's right. The press release one. That was a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think LeVar Ball is president, especially if he got to debate Stephen A. Smith. If he ran for president against Stephen A. Smith, that would be fantastic content for America. America's just become about content recently. There's really no substance to it. It's just like it's all a content game.
America's a content company.
It's always been that, man.
Yeah.
George Washington was really into content.
He was a blogger. The Declaration of Independence was
The first blog.
Yeah, subscribe to subscribe to my
country.
Substack.
If George Washington
Like and
had a
subscribe.
podcast, what would it be called?
George Washington's podcast. It would be called
Liberty.
Crossing the Delaware. No, it would be called just Wooden Teeth.
What I was about to say, what these wooden teeth can do. I literally was about to come out of my mouth. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I like that. Wooden Teeth.
The founding Podfathers.
What that mouth do with George Washington?
Oh man.
All right,
Martha.
Oh, Martha gets a spin-off show. Who do you think the greatest first lady of all time is?
Nancy.
Nancy.
Who's the Nancy?
She also
sloppy.
She was the
toppy
greatest
dope.
at something.
she runs back the George Washington podcast. What the mouth do? Nancy Reagan and George Washington.
What that mouth do.
She got the IP.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got wood in my mouth too. That's that verbal meme with the handshake in the middle. George Washington,
Wood in-
Nancy,
Wood in mouth.
wood in mouth.
You know what's George Washington's teeth? Not actually wood.
Oh, here comes Billy to ruin the joke
Come on.
because
Billy.
Billy, they were made from his slaves' teeth.
Yeah,
yes,
just had-
bad guy. I did some reading on James Madison over the course of the weekend because I did go to JMU and our football team is pretty good
Wagon.
considering it's our first season in FBS. And I didn't realize that James Madison, he was, of course, as many leaders in Virginia were at the time, he was a slave owner while publicly taking like anti-slavery positions and then owning slaves. And he didn't even free his slaves when he died. Like, if you look back on it, most people that had that kind of dichotomy in terms of their mindset would write that their slaves would be free when they died, which is like still it's a hypocritical thing to do. But James Madison was like, no, I don't really feel like doing that. So he was kind of a real piece of shit. He was also 5'4", and he weighed less than 100 pounds.
What?
He was just a little dude, like just a little itty bitty guy. Like you could step on him and probably kill him. Just a fun fact about James Madison. Roll Dukes. Let's go Duke Dogs. So we will be back on Tuesday, isn't it? Right? Is the thing. We'll be back right on the air on Tuesday with a very special guest indeed, Nancy Reagan. On Call Her Daddy. It's a Call Her Daddy crossover podcast. So we will see you guys next week. Until then, love you guys.